Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the stream. I think we got audio. I think we got video. I think we might have some music. I think we're good on all fronts here. At least according to the meters. Thanks so much for stopping in VQ and bringing the crew with you as well. All right, we're good to go. Dan, Sif Web Guy, in the house. Welcome to Realms Thursday, the late show. We're going to be doing something today. I don't know. Maybe something kind of cool. Maybe not. We'll see. Meters do lie. Absolutely. It says your microphone's working. It says it's connected. Dion in the house as well. Thanks for stopping in. Sarah Silent out. As always, a pleasure. Speaking of these two gentlemen, we're going to see some of their hotness on some of these cards tonight. But instead, actually, we're canceling the Star Realm stream. And we're going to be showing off the new Vampire the Masquerade Jihad version 2 deck builder that just came out. So strap in, let's go. All right, maybe not. Maybe we'll do Star Realms instead. All right, fine. Hope you guys were able to check out the stream from last night. If not, the VOD is up. I was able to get some games in with Joel, a.k.a. Orly, one of the Star Realms, or I'm sorry, one of the Wise Wizard games app developers. I don't even know what his title is. That guy does everything. He slices, he dices, he juliennes fries. So that was a lot of fun going over some of those games, talking about some of the cards as they're coming up. And what I wanted to do tonight on my stream is main focus, first and foremost, if we just kind of going through the sets. I'll show the updates on the app again as well. We'll kind of break that down real quick for people that may have missed yesterday. And then kind of show some of those updates, and then we'll kind of go through the different sets, go through card by card. We're going to look at it all. All right. We'll definitely see if we can find that card for you, Al. So we'll see what we can do here. And yeah, let's go and hop in. So you're going to see, obviously, there's some new Legend members that were awarded cards finally. In not only, the monocolor commander decks, but also the hero sets as well. So that's very cool. And let's go ahead and hop in here. So again, this is not in beta yet. It's only in developer status. So thank you again to Wise Wizards Games for allowing me this opportunity to take a look at this and be able to show off this product for them. Definitely a cool chance to be able to do that. It allows all of us, the eagerly awaiting players, to see some of the stuff ahead of time. And get a little more FOMO while we wait. So let's go ahead and pull this up here. There's our games yesterday. So actually, let's go over here. So one of the cool things, too, I wanted to show up is when you're selecting an expansion, whether you're sending a game, sending a challenge, whatever, you're going to have this new screen here, which is a little bit different than what we're used to. Over here, this one has the commanders. We'll see the new commanders here. And then when you set your expansions, you click this. And then this is the new menu for selecting your sets for your challenge. And it's got a couple different ways to look at it. And I know one thing I saw a lot of people asking for is a way to figure out, like, what are regular sets? What are ones that are just ships and bases versus ones that have missions, events, and other weird things like maybe they don't want to play. And whereas some people, obviously, they want to play everything. So they do have this sorted out. There's a few different things. So first is by collection. So you kind of see, like, this is the original first stuff from the Nova collection. This is from the Colonial collection. So you got Colony Wars and all those expansions. You have the base set and its expansions. You go down here, you got Frontiers and its expansions. And then you have your commander decks have their own section. And then also this is the stuff that's currently in beta. So it's not quite separated, I'm guessing, the way they finally want it. Well, who knows? But we have the Conquest sets. And then we also have Rise of Empires in here as well. So Rise of Empires, just a reminder, will be coming out when this launches at the end of the game fund. It's going to go into beta. So any Legend tier backers, you'll have access to it with your beta access. And for Rise of Empires specifically, I just wanted to remind people that it currently will not have the Legacy part enabled, but it will have all the cards from the base sets from it. The way Rob explained it, this version of the app just basically was not built with like legacy in mind, so it doesn't currently have that capability. So I don't know as much as anyone else, like if they plan on maybe doing a standalone app for that, or if, whatever the case may be down the road, who knows. So that's my collection, but here's my card type, I guess, what I was talking about before. So this is nice. You got your standalones. These are the base sets, which is nice. And then it does tell you when you're launching, you do need a standalone expansion required. I know a couple of people I saw were asking, like, do you really need it with all these sets? Currently you do, and I can just imagine it's for game balance. Like you need like a core set, and then you build the expansions with that for your set. But this is nice here. You can look at, I just want ships and bases. So you can go over that here. You've got all the sets that have the ships and bases. Over here, you're going to have your dual faction cards. So they separated that into its own section. Additional trade deck cards. Here's where you're going to get your planets, your heroes, your tech, things of that nature. You've got your Rise of Empires. And then here you have like kind of like a mishmash of all the other stuff that is outside of that. You've got your command decks, gambits, events, and missions. So to me, I like this, and to me, this automatically makes total sense the way they have it set up. I love it. With my thought process, almost completely aligned with this. Maybe I'd move a couple things, I don't know, but this to me just kind of perfectly aligns. Like to me, this is again like just the other stuff, and I really like how they've got this set up. And then, of course, you can go over here all, and you can just do it all as like one big pile and pick what you want from there. So that's really, really cool. Definitely digging how they've got that. What is this? Okay, so that's if you want to do that. So if you go over here, what is... Oh, so that's, you can do either or. Okay, so we'll do that. Now, when you're picking a set, you have to click it once and then click it to confirm. But what I wanted to point out, too, as well as another new feature, as you can see right here, on the right-hand side, when you click on a set, it's going to show you all the cards from the set. You can scroll through, and you can see what's in the set. You can click on a card, get the bigger view, and then you can go card by card by card through. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to kind of go through and take a look at all the cards as we go through. And that's also, you can do that in a game as well. You can do that from the game in the settings. When you go to the settings right during the game. So let's say someone sends you a challenge, you can't remember, you're in the middle of it, I can't remember which cards are in the set or whatever, you can click right on there and you can look right in the menu. So it's very cool. It's a super nice quality of life feature that they added. I think it's fantastic. So especially with how many expansions are out now. And this is a lot of content that's going to be dropping at once. So that's the other thing too. We've been biting at the chomp for this, and we want some new content to play with. We finally, the High Alert First Strike is finally now starting to get like it's been around for a while. Now it's time for something new, and they're bringing it. I mean, we're getting so much new content here. I think Joel said yesterday, I think he said 250 new cards, somewhere around there. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what he said last night on the stream. So, I mean, that's a ton of new cards. It's awesome. So, any other questions on the app I can show people? I'm happy to go through it again. You still have all the other stuff. You have your quick start. You have your Commander Skirmish beta, Q game versus challenge. Otherwise, everything else there looks the same. Yes, yeah. So the home formats is going to be interesting. But the nice thing is, well, exactly when I know like Dion for his leagues, he'll take like a screenshot. So he'll probably just have to have this blown up or something. And we're getting a lot of new content. So yeah. So for a lot of us that play in leagues on the Facebook fan page or through Board Game Geek, a lot of them will have leagues and it'll have like listed like, hey, for this league, this season, whatever, we're going to do these sets, and you kind of have it listed out, and there's shortcut letters that we use for that. But with this here, we're getting so many more added in one shot. It'll be interesting to see, first of all, what all their nicknames and everything come up with, or whatever their letters are, and then how quickly we're going to run out. So we'll see. Also, shout out to Dakaran. I don't know if he's here tonight, was here yet last night. He does run the Star Realms Nexus. which is a nice little tool where you can use that to go on there. You can check which letters correspond to which set, things of that nature. So, yeah, Dion, and actually speaking about that out loud, I wonder if that might be your option. Like once Derek Dacron gets that set up on his app, maybe that's your best bet, because then you'll see it all on one screen, hopefully. Maybe it might be a good idea to maybe coordinate with him or just reach out to him, see what his plans are. He's usually on this stuff pretty quick too. So it'll be a matter of what the letters actually get assigned to. I kind of wait for Board Game Geek for that group to, when they announce it, and then I post it on the Facebook fan page and our little cheat sheet of the info. So, okay. So I guess I've stalled long enough. So let's go ahead and hop in here. I guess we will, anyone has any suggestions, otherwise I'm just going to go Conquest and just start making my way over, and we'll end up with planets. Depending on how late it is, maybe we'll go over the Rise of Empire cards again too. So let's fire in a Conquest here. And again, very cool thing, like I said, you literally can just click on the card and it'll blow it up. So one thing to keep in mind here, this is cool too. I didn't even notice this yesterday. It tells you right here, there's three of these. So if you don't remember the cards with a plain white symbol, those are like common. There's 3 of those in a set. Cards that are silver are like uncommon. So there's 2 of those in a set. And the cards that have a gold border, there's going to be 1 of those in the set. So something to keep in mind. So that's important too when you're playing. If you're used to like poker and you're card counting, whatever the case is. So you can kind of see like what's come up, what could be coming up, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and fire through here. Let's take a look at some of these cards. I'm going to take a drink here real quick. We're rocking once again the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar Summer Freeze. Cherry Lemon Raspberry. It's awesome. It tastes like a bomb pop. It's not super sweet. That was my big fear. Like, this is going to taste like pure sugar. Well, first of all, it's zero sugar, but it's pretty good. I like it. Very refreshing. Okay. Also, if the music is too loud, too low or something, let me know. But otherwise, we will fire this up. So first one, we're starting out with the blobs here. Blobs go burr, as we've been hearing. Fago, I've heard that, and I need to check that one out. There's another one. Someone's just showing me another flavor. I can't remember what it was. Cotton candy or something like that. I want to try that out. So we got Blob Scout. 1 cost. Gives you 1 trade. Allies for a draw and scrap it for 3 damage. I kind of dig that. This card doesn't have real drawback because it does scrap itself out. Green Apple. I think that's what it was. Yeah. And I love Green Apple. I love that flavor. Superman. So there's a Superman ice cream that's been out forever, but there's a Superman Blizzard at Dairy Queen, which is really yummy too, if you guys haven't tried that. Shocker, Fat Kid tries out all the new flavors of Blizzards. That's this guy. I'm also lactose intolerant, so it works out really well. But anyways, back to the cards. I like this card a lot. Like I said, if it's something your early game, you've got the 1 trade sitting there. I don't hate buying this at all. First of all, I can get it, and I can pop it for 3 damage. Help you take out a base. If you're obviously heavy blob, this is great because the ally, it's going to replace itself, and it's going to get you that extra damage for, again, taking out a base, or maybe getting that kill shot in there too. So this is a pretty cool card for 1. Kind of does what I think a 1 should do. Leech here, on the other hand, is a beast. We're jumping up to 3-coster here. 3-coster ship Leech. Again, 3 of these in the deck. 6 damage for 3 is pretty solid. You're getting double your damage and cost. That's kind of what I base it off of. If you can get double your damage and cost, you're doing pretty good. Like, that's pretty solid. That's a indicator that I'm probably going to be looking at buying that card. The ability is pretty decent. Ally green, and you get a card of 2 costs or less. Now, the key thing here is that's card. So that could be a ship, it could be a base, it could be tech, it could be a hero. That's pretty phenomenal. And then getting right to your hand, even for the ones that don't normally. Worst case scenario, you get a explorer to your hand, 2 more trade, and scrap it for 2 more damage on the spot. Love this card. Absolutely banger. Get over here to our first blob base, Infection Sight. 3 costs, 2 damage. It's got 4 butt, so it's got a big butt for only 3 cost base. That's pretty nice. And you can scrap it to buy something. When you buy something, a ship, you can throw it on top of your deck. I think that's pretty decent, especially if you're going a little blob trade early. And let's say you shuffle up and you go into your deck too, and all of a sudden now you can buy like a pretty decent ship, throw it on top, and then start hitting them with that immediately. Or if it's something they put a base out, and then now you can get that ship and then put it on top to draw next turn. Obviously, shenanigans with card draw and things of that nature is always going to help out, but this is pretty solid. This will be a really good one in paper play, combined with this guy here, because then you get your ally, you can scrap, and then, get your draw the card you put on top, go from there. Obviously, in the app, unfortunately, ally abilities still trigger automatically, but I can see some good uses with that, even without that, though. So this is solid. This is not bad. Consistent damage, it's 2. A lot of these little Bob bases only do like 1, or they do more at a much higher cost, so it's okay. Lightning Worm. I was talking about this card yesterday. I love this card. I think this card's phenomenal. It's 2 of them in there. It's an uncommon. So it's 2 costs. So the main thing to keep in mind with this is it's weird because it doesn't do damage by itself without scrapping it. It's a blob card that doesn't do damage. But I like the idea that it automatically draws. So it gives you an ability to draw, especially again, you're playing, to top of deck mechanics and things of that nature. And the fact that it gives you built-in row control for free as well. You don't have to ally to do it. You don't have to ally to draw. You don't have to ally to scrap from row. And then when you don't need this anymore, you can scrap it out for 3 damage. I love this card. I probably, in my mind, am overhyping this one a little bit. But I think this is one that I see that it's going to be tough for me not to take, because it's got such great utility. And the more cool stuff that I'm seeing on the row, planets, heroes, and that, the more row control that I want. And especially keeping it away from my opponent. And again, like I said, the fact that it draws or replaces itself, it's pretty nice. So let's go over here. We've got a 4-cost blob-based mining swarm, or blob ship, mining swarm. So this is super orbital shuttle. Yeah, I can see that with the lightning worm. Mining swarm we've got here, 3 trade. So this is going to be your early purchase. You've got 4 gold there. If it's early, of course, you definitely want to grab this up. It's going to give you 3 trade each time you play it. Allied to destroy base, scrap for 5 damage. So this is an interesting one, because a little bit later in the game, especially if you're not big blob, then you might be hesitant to pick this up. It's not doing damage inherently unless you scrap it. But I will say scrapping for 5 damage is pretty decent. That's going to take out a majority of bases, except for the big boys. Also, the ability to ally. So let's say you drop this and you drop like a little predator or something. You can scrap a base for free, or destroy a base for free, and then also scrap it to get the damage, probably to take out another one. It's interesting. So the jury's out on this one a little bit. Again, early deck 1, of course, yeah, you're picking this up just for the trade alone. And then the ability, of course, anytime you've got an econ card that can scrap itself out for useful ability, that's pretty nice. I mean, 5 damage is solid. That's nothing to sneeze at. All right, so we'll go to Mining Cluster. So we've got a 4-cost base, 5 butt. So it's got a decent booty there. 2 trade consistently, and you can scrap a card in the trade row. This is another one of those that is going to give you that trade row control. Again, I think that's going to be really, really valuable with these upcoming sets. The more and more cool stuff we're putting in here, again, the more and more that you want to keep stuff away from your opponent, especially if you can't buy it. Scrapping to take out a base is pretty nice. If a card's not going to be able to do damage itself, having it be able to scrap to take out a base is about as good of an ability as you can get, I feel. Obviously, drawing cards is still king, but taking out a base for free is pretty cool. I like this card a lot. Again, this is definitely one first deck. You're grabbing this automatically. I mean, it's 5 button. It's going to give you 2 trade and automatic roll control to get that going. Later game, this is very situational. Probably not, unless they're basing up all over the place. And of course, you buy it just for the scrap base. So, all right. So we've got our first blob rare card. This is Invader. It's a 5-cost blob ship. It does 4 damage and draws a card, so it automatically replaces itself. So you have to love a card that's basically free. Yeah, I agree. The artwork on these things is awesome. It's very colorful, very vibrant. So far, at least for me, a lot of these are like on point as far as the theme of what the card is. I dig it. There's a couple on here I'll point out too. Like I can't remember the name of the ship. There's one for sure that I'm like, it looks like a ship I could see Robot Quest Arena. Yes, I can see that. This definitely looks like it's in King of Tokyo, and it's blowing the place up. For those of you guys who have not played King of Tokyo, check it out. It's super fun. So again, yeah, so 4 damage and draw a card, replaces itself. Ally blob, acquire a card 2 or less for free. We've seen that before. So kind of a repeat, except for this one here, like I said, it's got that draw. What's up, Logan? Good seeing you, sir. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you hanging out. We are doing a breakdown of the new Conquest cards. So we're going to go through all the different sets, all the different cards, and kind of give a little bit of take on them and just kind of review them tonight is what we're doing. So appreciate you stopping in. Make sure you check out the VOD from yesterday if you get a minute or not, or you can even watch the VOD of this later as well. So again, I like this here. Yeah, this is a gimme. If you've got 5 trade there, you're going to be hard pressed not to buy this. It's damage with a card draw. It's like it just replaces itself. And of course, blobs want to ally for each other. So this is a solid card for 5. Strike Point. So we have our first blob rare base. This one is interesting. 4 damage for a 5-cost base. It does ally for 2 trade. It's got a 5 butt. So this is interesting. This is kind of the opposite of the I'm drawing a blank on the other card where it's it gives you 2 trade and allies for damage. Being able to do 4 damage is pretty cool. Getting this obviously early is going to be good for sticking out there and making your opponent basically has to kill this thing. Swarm Cluster is exactly the card. Yeah, so it's kind of the opposite of that. Early though, you also do kind of want trade, so that's interesting. This is the opposite. Lux 16 in the house. Good seeing you, sir. Thanks for stopping in. And so I think that was very interesting to see kind of this dynamic flip here. Of course, I still like it. Like I said, this is one you want out there. Your opponent is going to have to deal with it. Doing consistent 4 damage every turn. Ally and the other blobs. Frank, good seeing you, sir. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you hanging out as well. So here we have the trade version. Yeah, reverse nesting ground for sure. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, nesting ground is what I'm thinking of, not Swarm Cluster. But yeah, so we have Cargo Worm. So this one early is a beast. It's huge. It's something you're going to want to be targeting right away. You've got 4 trade and draw a card, so it's going to be 4 economy. And the drawing is huge because it's replacing itself. Now this is an expensive card though. It's 6. But it is giving you 4 trade off 1 card. That's how you buy the 8s. That's how you buy, the Colossus for 9. This is how you get that stuff. So interesting to see that. But the ally for 5 damage is sizable. So this is one for sure that, especially if you've got multiple blobs in your deck, then this is a no-brainer for sure. If you don't, and it's like mid to late game, that's going to be, it's going to be tough. I mean, you probably would buy this rather than not, just because it does replace itself, especially if you're playing heroes and tech and planets, maybe. I don't know, just stuff that you want. Not planets, they need damage, but heroes and tech. But yeah, for sure, obviously, heavy blob, you're going to be all about this. So, Battle Moon. This one's awesome, and I totally misread this one yesterday on stream. So this is a 6 cost base. It does 4 damage. It's got a 6 butt. So we're getting into the larger defense numbers for the bases. This one is 4 damage, and you scrap any number of cards currently in the row. And actually, I don't think I did read this one wrong. I think maybe it played wrong. I'll have to double check that. So I thought I played this, and then it scrapped the whole row without me even... I can't remember. Anyways. So once again, we're on the row control theme here. Very important. Again, if you want to be able to control the planets and the heroes and attack and all the other good stuff that's on the row and keep it away from your opponent, this is a good way. And this is one of those too, like, you don't need to be in blob to buy this card. It's a base, it's 6 defense, it does 4 damage, and it wipes or scraps a row as much as you want. That's just awesome utility all around. If you're in blob, bonus, it's going to ally for you. So, Hive Armada. This thing's kind of cool. This is going to be your 7 coster. We've seen quite a few other 7 cost blobs. This one here, it's got that inherent built-in draw for 5 damage. We like that. Allies for 4, also scraps for 4. So you're getting a potential 13 damage hit off of this with a card draw. So it's interesting because the numbers are, a little bit diverse from some of the other ones that do this. The nice thing I like about this guy here is not many of the big blob ships, except for like Battle Blob, not many of them, though, have a scrap ability to get that extra punch in there. So I like this one. Obviously, you've got 7 trade. This is out there. You're not upset about buying this card. At worst, it's 5 damage and a draw every time. Ally it up, it's going to be even more solid. So pretty good. It's I'd have to rank it with some of the other 7s. I think maybe a few of the other ones have a little bit of edge on this. Like Moonworm, you're going to be able to get a free purchase on an ally. Hive Queen, I think does that do more overall damage? Yeah, it does 13. So actually it does a little bit less damage. But it does more to start out. I think it does 7 damage to start. So they have, they're kind of like their disparaging differences, not disparaging, but like differences of the numbers, how you just manipulate them and the factors here. So I don't know. I like it though. Armada Cluster. I love this card. This is crazy. This is some trippy art right here. I feel like I'm watching a 70s music video when I look at this card. A little Sabbath playing in the background. So this is good. This is it's a 7 defense base. 7 defense is huge. I'm glad this is not an outpost, because you can tuck this behind an outpost and your opponent's really got to work to get to it. 3 damage, 2 trade. So the numbers aren't big, but you're getting 2 different effects. Ally to draw a card. So it's not like the biggest banger in the world as far as like big numbers, but it does a lot of things together. I dig it. Again, this is a card you're not upset about having, even if you're not in green, because again, it's a 7 defense base. It's gonna be hard for them to deal with, and it's gonna be producing damage for you and giving you some trade every turn. So I dig it. It's not bad. Oh, and then we're done with the blobs. So we'll move over here to the Machine Cult. I love this card. This is one of my little pet favorites playing yesterday that I was able to see a few times in action. The Shockbot. It's your little 1-cost scrapper. First of all, if I recall correctly, I think most of the cards in these sets, I think there might have been 1 or 2 that didn't, but I think most of the Machine Cult scraps are from hand or discard. So they've kind of gone back to that a little bit. So some sets were used to that from vanilla, and then some sets were a little more restrictive where you can only scrap from hand or discard. I think most of these give you that choice back to doing both, but they've done a really good job, I think, of balancing the numbers. So this is a 1-cost ship. It only does 1 damage, but it does let you scrap from hand or discard, which I think is huge. I'm taking this every time early game. Allies for 2 damage, but another thing here too, this also scraps itself. You can't say enough about that. There's a number of times where you get like a trade bot. It's pretty nice, gives you that 2 trade, it does scrap, and then later on in the game, you kind of want to get it out of your deck. This allows you to do that. So I think this is a very solid card. I'm very happy this is in there. 3 of them available, so you're probably going to get one, your opponent might get one. you're going to try to grab them. So, Splicer Bot, we've got another little machine cult card. This is going to be your more economy card. This is going to give you a 2 trade. It's going to cost you 2. That's not bad. You do, however, need to ally to get any scrap out of it. But if you do, once again, it's from hand or discard. So I think that's pretty cool. Also, again, you have the ability to scrap it out of your deck. So play it, use it, scrap it, get it out of there. And it hits for 4. So that's kind of nice too, because it's not doing damage anywhere else. So it's got a nice little bump on the scrap damage. I could see using this a couple of turns, getting the trade out of it. Worst case scenario, you don't have any other machine cult. All right, let's get this thing out of here. Let's keep the deck down, pop it out there. So not a bad card. Defense Beacon, this one's interesting. So this is a 5-butt outpost for 3. Gives you 1 damage. So this is one of those things like early on, this is not bad. It's kind of like an early battle station that actually punches a little bit for 1 damage. Now, granted, it doesn't scrap itself out like a battle station does. But super early, yeah, D-Bacon. I don't hate it. They said I'm on the fence here. I think it's obviously a little weak. But it is one of those things too, like if you get this thing and it sticks out there 2-3 turns, that damage adds up. Also, again, that means just it's soaking a couple damage every turn for you. If this was lower, if this was like a 4 outpost, I think it'd just be a little too weak. There's too many ships that do 4 damage. But having something like this early, especially like I said right here in the background, your opponent gets an early leech. Maybe you're going to want to soak some of that damage. So it's a nice little cheap option for that. I love this card. This is one of my pet favorite ones now as well. Like the Shock Bot. Blast Bot. It's 3 costs. It does 4 damage. Again, 4 is a good number. 4 takes out most smaller bases. Again, 5 and 6 are where you get to that medium range, and then 7 plus is where you get those big bad boys. So this is going to take out most of your small bases. It's automatically going to scrap for hand or discard. If you happen to ally it, though, it's going to scrap again. So this card lets you scrap 2 cards in 1 turn if you ally it. I think that's huge. You know, you get an early Defense Beacon and you've got an early Blast Bot together like your deck 1. I'm digging it. That even puts more emphasis on them. Oh, I'm sorry, having to deal with that. I don't know where I just clicked. Let's get back there. So really, really dig that. It's awesome. So I'm a big fan of this card. I think it's good cost. This is one of those cards you look at. I'm like, this could be Robot Quest Arena. I could see that. Little flying guys running around. I just talk about that game a lot because I played it for the first time at Origins and it was so much fun. And I actually have it sitting on my shelf. We just didn't know how to play it and wanted to wait to play it in person, and now we did. So now we can play it. So Research Mech. This one is interesting. So this is again going to be another one of your economy cards. Early game, pretty huge. Mid game, depending what your situation is. But it's going to get you 3 trade every turn for investing 4 to buy it. If you ally Machine Cult, though, it's going to get you your choice of 2 trade or 4 damage. I think that's awesome, giving you that option of the 2. Make a big bomb purchase, or I need more damage, take something out. But the big perk here, too, is it has the ability to scrap itself. We're kind of seeing a theme with that. There's more of these Machine Cult cards are being able to scrap themselves out, get them out of your deck. This is one that allows you to do some shenanigans. You know, get that discard card, or the card that's in your discard pile to the top of your deck. So you can set something up for next turn. Or again, if you've got a card that will let you draw a card, you can work some mechanics with that. So I think it's pretty cool. I think this is good. This is really, really good early game. And then mid to late game, you know, situational. Missile system. This is interesting. So here's an example. This is a 4 cost base. It's only got a 4 outpost, but which is nice. It's outpost. It's going to make them have to destroy it, but it does 3 damage. And it allies to destroy a base for free. That I think is actually really huge. I think that makes up for the little bit lower defense on it. The fact that it does 3 damage is pretty solid by itself, but the fact that you can ally it and you don't have to scrap it to destroy a base, I think is pretty huge. If you've got a couple of early machine cults, you're looking at this and you're all over it. Getting this guy out there, doing some damage, scrapping one of their bases. They have to deal with it next turn. You're getting a lot of value out of this card for 4, so I definitely dig it. Conversion Center. This card's phenomenal. So if you scrap a card in your hand, so this is one of the few where you have to scrap something from your hand, but if you do, you get 2 trade. So it's got 5 outposts, it costs 5, it doesn't do any damage, it can't scrap itself, it doesn't do any sort of ally. But the fact that I can use this to scrap a Scout or Viper from my hand and get an economy boost that turn, to then buy a bigger card or a bigger bomb or something to that effect, I think is awesome. I think this might be one that maybe I'm overvaluating a little bit as well. I could see that because, again, it doesn't do damage, it doesn't scrap itself, or doesn't, blow up a base. But I think it's decent. Like I said, getting that extra economy boost for scrapping, so you're getting like a just net advantage there. I really dig it. Rocket Mech. So this thing is going to blast through. Looks like it's coming through. It's going to bust through the gates of Mordor here. I don't know. So we've got 5 cost machine called Ship. Automatically draw a card and scrap from your hand or discard. That's pretty huge. Again, it's 5. It's got a pretty hefty cost, but it does ally for 5 damage as well. And if you need to, you can scrap it to destroy a base. So the fact that it's a scrapper that draws automatically, to me, I get the higher cost. And they've got a solid ally amount of damage on it. And then the ability as well to scrap itself, get it out of your deck, also kill a base, go through for the kill, do whatever. I think this is pretty solid. This is a card you can buy at any point in the game, because again, it does draw, it does scrap itself, so it's not going to hurt. Early, this could be pretty decent just for scrapping and drawing, and then getting the rest of your deck going that way. So I dig it. We've got Cruiser Mech here. This is a rare machine cult ship. This is one of those, you've seen some of these other machine cult cards where they give you the option of damage or trade. So this is 6 cost, so it's a bigger boy. But it's going to give you 6 damage or 4 trade, which is pretty appropriate. So you can do it, big damage, take out a base, or just, punch them in the face, or get that big, 7, 8 cost card off the row as well. Red is put a base in your discard pile on top of your deck. So that is a very interesting mechanic. But this one here as well, with the scrap ability to draw a card, obviously you can set up some big plays. I've got a big base in my discard. Let's get this guy out. Let's hit them for 6 damage. Let's ally it. Let's go ahead and skip Marilyn Manson. Thank you. I love Marilyn Manson, but the masses may not. Put that big base on top of your deck, and then also draw that big base. So that is just phenomenal. I absolutely love it. It's a banger. All right, so we've got Nanobot Factory. Not Nanobot Swarm, but this is the factory maybe where Nanobot Swarm is being made. I don't know. 6 cost base, outpost 5. So it's got a decent sized butt. Scrap a card in your discard pile automatically. So this is one where it does have that limitation. But you get to do that for free. And then you can ally it to gain 2 for each card that you've scrapped this turn. So this is similar to Reclamation Station, where you get the damage for every card you've scrapped, not just from your hand or not just from your discard. So if you're scrapping heroes, if you're scrapping other cards you have in play, if you're scrapping cards from your hand, scrapping cards from your discard, and then at the end of all that, then you trigger this, you're going to get bonus damage for all of that. It also doesn't scrap it to do it. So that's pretty cool too. So this is pretty decent. I'll be interested to see how this plays out. Obviously if you get some disgusting turn where you have this and Incinerator and Wreck Station, you're going to have some giant turns. That's going to do some big damage. So let's go ahead and move here. Let me grab a drink real quick while we look at the Mech Stronghold. Absolutely love the Mech Stronghold. Hand or discard automatically. 7 cost base. Outpost for 7, so it's large. 7, I think, might be the largest outpost. I know there's bases that have more defense, but I think 7's still the largest outpost. So 7 outposts is hard to deal with. It's a big number. And if they do deal with it, great. You just saved yourself 7 life. It does scrap itself also for a big hit for 6 damage. I almost kind of wonder... No, if this would have draw, that would have been way too big. Maybe ally draw. So I think it'll be interesting to see how this plays out value-wise. This is a card you don't hate to have out, though, either. I mean, getting this out, they're going to have to deal with it if they're not. You're just sit there and just scrap every turn, soak a ton of damage, willow your deck down, and then finally pop it to do a punch to the face or take a base out. So, good stuff. I really dig this one. And this one here, I love this card. So I got this card yesterday a couple times when we were playing. This is the new 7-cost ship, you know, Wrecker and Arc and all that good stuff. This is Nano Fleet. So this one's a 7-cost ship, 3 trade, draw 2 cards. That's pretty huge. And then you may scrap a card from your hand or discard pile. So it doesn't do damage inherently, so it's a little bit different. But the fact that it does draw 2 and a scrap with trade as well, I think that's pretty huge, especially if you have a way to get this early. You get a big trade, burst economy purchase. That's cool. And then, of course, it does have an ability here to scrap itself as well for that 5 damage hit. So really, really dig that. So not too bad. I said it's interesting because it doesn't do inherent damage by itself. How it's going to stack against, we'll just say against like the Wrecker, because obviously the Wrecker Nanobot Swarm. You can't compare it to to Arc because Arc is just busted. Arc is gross. But no, I do dig this card a lot. Early to mid game, this is pretty huge. And we're getting over to Star Empire. I did see some people asking about Star Empire, if they're getting some love in this set. Definitely think they got some love in this set. I think they got some love in the past few sets. So Star Scout, little 1-coster, gives you 1 trade, makes them discard. Being able to make them discard without getting the ally is pretty huge. I dig that a lot. And then allying for 3 damage. So if you're in that situation where you've got like this, Imperial Fighter, Cargo Launch, you got a lot of little yellow ships, this can really add in there. Especially the ally 3 damage is pretty good. Imperial Hunter, we've got 2-cost ship, 4 damage. I mean, that's just solid by itself. Draw and discard, I absolutely love. Same scenario. If you've got a lot of little Star Empire ships, this is pretty huge. Because that draw discard is awesome. Being able to cycle through your deck and then getting a good punch for 4 is awesome. Imperial Shuttle, this is your economy 2-cost card. So there's a couple different ones here. We'll see. I think the other one might be in a different set, but this one here, you're spending 2, you're getting 3. That's not bad. But it also can scrap itself. So because this one doesn't do damage by itself, this might be one then you're going to want to scrap later in the game. And when you do, it's going to get you 2 damage and they discard a card. So it's going to stack on there. You get that on a turn where you happen to hit them with a couple more discards and you pop this guy for a 3rd or 4th discard. It's going to add up fast. And this is going to get you the economy to buy those other cards earlier. So I like the synergy with this card. Jump Cruiser, we've got Star Empire Ship 3. I love this one. This to me is just like a perfect balance. It costs 3. It only does 3 damage. So a lot of times when you get 3, you're looking at cards that do like 5. Again, maybe even 6 damage. But this draws as well. Being able just to draw without any faction ability needed, I think it's pretty huge. So I do really dig this card. So this is a card too. I could see buying this anytime. You don't have to be in Star Empire to get it and make it worthwhile. Comm Center, we've got here 3-cost base, 4 Bud Outpost, gives you a trade every turn. This is kind of the opposite of the Machine Cult base that gives you the 1 damage. This one doesn't only have a 4 outpost, but it does give you trade every turn and an ally for draw. It's okay, but obviously if you're building towards any sort of like discard lock, this is a no-brainer. You're going to put this out there. It's going to stick out there, hopefully. and then you're going to get this allied with a couple more ships, and you're going to be hitting them with 2-3 discards a turn. That can really lock up a game for you. It's like a little Death Star looking things here. That's what that looks like to me. Ooh, maybe is Star Empire the Empire, and this is where the Death Star. All right, let's get this going here. Battle Rocket. I do love this card. 4 cost, does 5 damage. You can draw a card and discard a card, or you do draw a card and discard a card. So it's going to cycle for you. It's going to be a good solid hit. 5 is going to take out most bases, except for the big boys. Of course, you're going to want this. It's going to cycle for you. So especially if you're looking for other cards to ally off of this one, if they need Star Empire, you're going to get to those. And then you can scrap it out for 3 damage too. I think this is a phenomenal card. Again, this is also another one because of the draw discard. You don't have to be in Star Empire to buy this. You're going to want this probably every time. Spy Satellite. I'm on the fence on this one. I like it. 5 cost, 5 outpost. Just static draw a card every turn it's out. I think that's pretty huge. Card draw is still in most card games, and Special Star Realms is king as far as I'm concerned, as far as value. Being able to draw into more cards, get your combos going, get things up and running. So I do really dig this one here. I don't know if it needs a scrap ability or an ally ability or something. It just feels like it might be a little weak. But again, drawing a card for free and not having to discard either is kind of cool. So I don't know. Jury's out on this one here. Blaster. I love this one. I mean, this is just straightforward Star Empire. It's 5 cost ship, 6 damage to the face, make them discard. I mean, that's what you want. And again, 5 costs is pretty easy to achieve. Ally to draw a card. I think that is huge because then you're hopefully going to be drawn into your other Star Empire cards, getting more damage, more discards, getting your machine going. So I love this card. I think it's great. Cannon Station, 6 cost. I think that's pretty good. This is like Warworld's bigger brother. Does a little bit more damage overall, but the base it does 4, allies for 4. It's got a 5 outpost. And it costs you 6. So I do like it. I was looking at this one and I was kind of on the fence. Like, should this have maybe like a 6 but I think you're going to be pushing a little bit more towards possibly needing to cost more then. And I do like having like this mid-range 6 cost Star Empire base. Space Taxi. It definitely does look, well, yeah, it's a taxi for the other ships that are all landed there. So maybe this is like is this a space gas station actually? I think this might be a space gas station. Stop and refuel. We'll shoot the bad guys as they're chasing you, and then you go back out and get them. You probably see a Lone Star and Barf in there ordering their food right now. If anyone catches that reference, you're a cool kid. Warp Barge, 6 cost, 4 and draw. I dig this one. It's expensive. It's 6, but it's going to give you 4 trade and draw a card, which is awesome. It's just going to replace itself right away. It's going to ally to draw a 2nd card. Drawing 2 cards off of 1 chip is huge. And then, of course, it can scrap itself as well for damage. So once you get your use out of it, then you can cash it in, give me 4 damage. I'm going to punch him in the face, take out a base, whatever the case is. I dig this one a lot. Obviously, earlier in the game you get this, the more impactful. But again, this is one even later. That's probably not going to hurt either because then you can still scrap it out the turn you draw it. Get your trade, get your draw, scrap it out. Almost never unhappy seeing this. So, Deep Space Monitor. So this is your 7 cost, 6 bud outpost. 2 trade and makes them discard. So it doesn't do any damage, but it gives you trade and makes them discard, which is good. And then does ally for draw a card. So again, we've got some Star Empire ally going on here. So once again, if you can get these things going, you got your discard ships, your discard bases. You can get a machine going here. They've got lots of cards in here that'll get that going for you. I think maybe a little more reliably than some of the earlier sets. So pretty cool. I dig that a lot. Even without doing damage, at 7, I'm probably not upset buying this. obviously, especially early, but even mid game, it's not bad. It's something I'm not probably upset about buying. And here we've got your 8 coster. So we saw this bad boy yesterday. Missile assault carrier, 8 cost ship. It does 10. Yep, that's double digits. It's a 10. There's a few cards that have 10 on it. This is one of them. 10 in draw. And if you want to, you can scrap it to make him discard 2 cards. So yeah, I dig this one here. It's something that comes down and makes a statement. It's probably going to clear some bases. It's going to do some damage. It's going to replace itself. Again, that's important. You're going to be allying these cards. You're going to need something that needs Star Empire to ally off of this one. And then if you do want to go for that discard lock turn, you've got like 2 discards on them. Pop this. Now you got 4. Maybe you got 5 if you're lucky. This is something where you can shut them down for a turn as well. You can time walk them. I think that's pretty cool. All right, so we're doing Star Empires there. Let's move over to the Trade Fed and toast that for the blue. We'll drink some blue. Excellent. Naval Skiff. I love this card. This card's phenomenal. I was looking at this one yesterday, and I was like, is this supposed to be 2 damage, 2 life? But I know we have a card similar to that gives you 2 trade and 2 life. Or 2 authority, I should say. So this one here, I think because trade, especially early, is probably still king as far as like ability to be able to purchase and build up. So I do like this as 3 damage, 3 authority. I'm buying this early probably every time. I think it's a great ship. 6 differential for 1 trade. It's hard to beat that. So it's good card. This guy is... This might be a card that is going to be one of my pet cards as well. I played a game against the AI yesterday, and I had 2 of these, and I kept pairing them up. And so it's 2 costs, gives you 3 trade or 5 authority. So that's huge, first of all. You can spend 2, you're going to get 3, but later in the game, when you no longer are worried about trade as much, you can start getting authority out this every time you play it. So that's a banger. But the fact that it also allies for 4 damage off another... Trade Fed, I think that's huge. And again, like I said, there's 3 of these in the deck. It's common. I kept getting 2 of these together, and it was like gain 10, do 8. Gain 10, do 8. Late game, gain 10, do 8. It was pretty huge. It was awesome to see. And then like I said, or again, big burst, big purchase for a bigger ship. Good to go. So here we go. We've got the storage center. Jury's out on this one. I mean, it's 3 costs, 3 outposts, gives you 2 trade. Giving you multiple trade is good, especially early. And especially if you do want to ally this. This would definitely be a card like if I got this first and this pops up, I'm probably buying this right away because I want to be able to hit this ally. And this is a cheap enough card to let you do that, but also be able to buy some other stuff. Doesn't scrap itself, doesn't do anything else weird, but like I said, it's only 3 costs. I think maybe having 4 up, 4 defense would be a little too good. And I do like how this is an outpost, so it is going to die right away, most likely. I think this is a good card. It's pretty balanced. Cargo Jet. This one's interesting as well. So this is 3 trade. You're going to get 3 trade, so it's even, so there's nothing great about that. It's not bad. Especially early, you're going to be looking at this. Get your big purchases. But it does ally to draw a card, which is nice. But it scraps itself out, and this is what makes it good. The fact that you can get this early, get some purchases out of it, Trade Fed doesn't end up working out for you, or you just want to get rid of it anyways. Scrap it up for 3 damage, and it's out of your deck. It's good to go. So really, really dig this ship. I think it's solid. Like I said, being able to scrap some of these cards that are good early, not as good late, is a great addition to a lot of these cards. That really ups the value for me. So here's a bigger one. Here's your new, your cargo. Here's your new freighter. So this is the Freight Runner. So it's 4 for 4. So this is a big trade card. This is something that you see this out there in the Trade Road deck 1 and you can get it. You're going to want it. I gave you that option to be able to buy those big 7 cost, 8 cost cards. Allies for 4 authority gain, which is not bad. It's nothing huge, but it's still definitely good. But the fact that you can also scrap it out. Next ship you acquire goes on top of your deck. So if you get this deck 1, and then you go around the flip, you come back and like, oh, there's an Nanobot Swarm, and I have 8 trade now. All right, I'm going to play this out. I'm going to scrap it. I'm going to buy the Nanobot Swarm, put the Nanobot Swarm on top. You're off and running. And that game's probably over at that point, but that's neither here nor there. You know, let it play out. But I think that's an awesome ability for a card that gives you a lot of trade, then to be able to let you do some shenanigans with top decking, something that you might buy with it as well. Of course, if you've got a card in your hand that draws, etc., you got some other options. Perimeter Station, 4 defense for a 4 cost base, does 3 damage for trade fed's pretty good. And this is one where if you've got 3 or more bases in play, draw a card. So they've got a couple bases in here that do the ship's abilities that we're familiar with, where if you have so many bases, you draw a card. This has it built into the base, which is nice, which is common. I think it's Central Station that does that as well. It's not Central Station, it's a different one. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, this is nice. If you've got 3 bases, 3 little bases, pop them out. Gonna get a free draw, gonna get some damage, obviously get the other abilities from the other bases. I don't hate this one at all, especially because it does damage. So the fact that it does damage and not trade makes this a even more valuable card a little bit later. Supply Tender. This one's pretty good. So this is 5 cost. It gives you 4 trade and 4 authority. And if you have 2 bases in play, you can draw a card. So this one's kind of nice. This is a bigger one than the Orbital Shuttle. And again, the 4 authority built in with the 4 trade. This is expensive though. It does cost you 5. But if you're going base heavy, you know, you're looking at this one every time. It does not scrap itself though, so that's something to keep in mind. Loading dock. We got a 5 cost, 5 outpost. Gives you 1 trade every turn. And automatically, next ship you acquire goes to the top of your deck. So that's really good. The fact that this only gives you 1 trade, you know, you've got to have other things that are going to give you the trade to buy those bigger ships to take advantage of this ability. But even smaller ships too, it could work on your favor. And it allies for damage too, which is nice. It's a nice little perk, getting some damage abilities off some of these trade fed cards, because some of them need it for sure. So not bad, not bad. This is one, you know, you're probably looking at, you got that 5. See what kind of work you can do with this early. So this is another one of those bases that you get to draw if you've got 2 more bases in play, which is nice. Ion Cannon. So it's 6 damage, or I'm sorry, costs 6 costs for 5 outposts. It does 3 damage a turn. I don't hate that, and I do like the ability. So a lot of these here, they're going to be situationally useful by themselves. But if you are going a base heavy strategy, you're going to be snatching up as many of these as you can, because they all work together in synergy, being able to replace each other. Little Power Man. We'll flip that over. Repair Freighter. So again, we're still in the econ, still in the trade fed. It's what trade fed does. 6 cost, but it is 4 and automatically without ally. The next base you acquire top of your deck. I think that's huge. That's an understated ability. Not a lot of cards have that can put bases on top. There's a lot more that can do ships. So I think this is really huge. It does ally for 4 authority, but also here it's got that scrap to draw card. So again, put it out, buy a big base, put it on top, scrap this, draw the big base, play the big base. You're doing a lot here in 1 turn with this card. It's 6, so it's an investment to purchase it. But I'm almost never upset about buying this, especially the fact that it just scraps a draw. Worst case scenario, you get it. It doesn't help you. Get it out of there, draw a card. Keep your turn going. So I dig it. Control ship. So for your Hero Realms players, this card may look a little familiar. This is a 7 cost blue ship. A trade fed ship gives you 2 trade, 3 damage, 4 authority, draw a card, ally, destroy target base. I love this one. This is one of those, obviously if you have 7 trade, this is out there, you're buying it. No ifs, ands, or buts. You don't have to be in trade fed to buy this. The destroy target base is nice. But honestly, you're probably buying this even without that. Just the fact that it draws and gives you every option as far as trade, damage, and authority gain. It's pretty huge, but destroying a base for free is huge. So if you drop this, another trade fed, I do some damage that turn. Security Ring, I dig this one. Security Ring is a, if he's flying that, is he hiding in there? He might be. Security Ring is an 8 cost, 7 outpost trade fed base. This is a monster. This is the big boy. Does 5 damage, gives you 5 authority every turn. No ally, no card draw, doesn't scrap itself, nothing like that. Again, if you have 8 though, you're dropping this down there. You're not upset about that at all. They're gonna have to deal with this. It's a pain in the butt to deal with. And when they don't, you've got a 10-point swing every turn. I think that's pretty huge. That's a nice advantage. So something to look at there. Definitely loving that. So that is the Conquest set. So that actually took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to. The nice thing here is that's the big set. That's the base set. So the other packs here are going to be much smaller. I might go a little bit quicker because there's quite a few to go through and I want to get through as many as I can. I think these are the same thing. I don't know. We'll check. They're not. So there's Conquest backer promos and Conquest digital backer promos. All right, we'll look at them. I thought for some reason these might have been the same thing at first, but I'm like, no, they have a different symbol and everything. So, okay, let's go and fire this up. This is the point where I'm doing a presentation or like it's something I work on. I'm like, do you have any questions? But no, don't ask me questions. I didn't make any of this. I know as much as you guys do. I'm just looking at it. So, no, but I appreciate the communication, the feedback, and the conversation as well that we've got going. So, let's get in here. So, I'm sorry, this one is Conquest backer promos. So, I'm assuming this is the one. If you followed it. No, this is the follower promos. Even says right there. Okay, so this is if you back the project on GameFound. This is the promo back you can get from that. I'm assuming. Okay, let's get in here. Let's dive in. Spiker, Blob Ship 2. This is huge. I love this one. 4 damage for 2. That's what you're looking for out of Blob. You're looking for a minimum. If you can get that nice little early low-cost ships, you want to get about double your damage for your cost. It's going to ally for 2 more damage, which is nice. Scraps for 3. So this is like a smaller ram. It's literally a smaller ram. And I dig this. And almost like, you know, for only being 2, you're going to be able to purchase this a little bit easier than the 3. It's still going to give you a nice boost of 2 trade instead of 3, but that's still good. Same thing. I'm buying this every time early game. I'm getting this, popping it, buying something bigger, going from there. So I dig the Spiker. Spike Lance. This is pretty good. 4 cost ship. It does 6 damage. That's okay for Blob. But the fact that it allies to draw, so if you are Blob heavy or getting a couple of Blob cards early, this is a must buy because of the draw. You're getting 6 damage and the draw, so it's replacing itself. That's pretty huge. Oh, I did it again. Blast Pod. So this one is like a ram, but it's all damage. And it costs appropriately, it costs 5 to purchase. But it does 5. Allies for 3. And scraps out for 4 damage. So this one here in one turn itself can do 12 damage. That's pretty monstrous. You're getting this guy out there. Again, it does cost 5. It's a decent investment. But if you're playing Blob heavy, this is a no-brainer for sure. And that final hit, you know, popping for 12 in one turn. This guy's a bad boy. I like him. Spike Pit. I'm a sucker for these cards. These little blob bases that cost a couple, and they do damage. I don't know why. This one here doesn't ally for trade like some of the current ones, but it does 3 damage. It's 2 defense, not outpost. You can hide it behind outpost. If you're, got a lot of blobs in your deck, this is something I like. Put it out there. It's going to do consistent damage. They've got to deal with it, and it's going to be out there to ally your blobs, hopefully. So I dig it. It's not bad. Worm Cluster. This again is just some wacky art. I love it. So this is, they basically, it looks like they took something over here, or this is just spawning these guys. Looks like they're wrapping around. Maybe I can't tell what's going on here. But yeah, this is a 6 cost, 5 defense base, 2 damage and draw. So it's not a lot of damage, but it draws every turn without having to do anything else. So I dig that. It's not bad. It's not super powerful, but it's definitely something I wouldn't be upset having. So that's pretty good. All right, we're going to Machine Cult here. We got Attack Bot. This one is a phenomenal no-brainer deck 1 purchase. 1 trade, it gets you 2 damage, and it scraps from hand or discard automatically. So it's a little cheap scrapper. It does a good amount of damage. Again, this is a no-brainer. You're buying this every time. Tractor Bot. This one's pretty cool. We had this one yesterday. So it's 3 trade. It does 5 damage. So that's an excellent ratio if you're getting Machine Cult. Move up to 2 cards your discard pile to the bottom of your deck. So this one doesn't inherently scrap right away. It actually lets you recover things, put it at the bottom of your deck, especially if you have a low deck and you want to put things there and you got some draw mechanics going. You can get some shenanigans working. And then, of course, ally to scrap from your hand or discard. This is a solid card. I love this one here. Melter Mech. This one is huge. This is very similar as well to a Hero Realms card. This one is 6 damage. Does 6 cost for 8 damage, which is huge. That's awesome. You can scrap a card in your hand or discard, so it's automatically going to do 8 damage and scrap. And then you can ally to destroy a base as well. This is a monster. This is a must-buy. If you can't buy this, get it off the row. Scrap it off the row if you can. You do not want your opponent to have this bad boy. Combustion Center. This is one that was interesting. Jury's out on this one here. 3 cost, 4 outpost. Scrap card in your hand. That's what it does. It's there to scrap things out of your hand. It's not bad. Obviously, if you're going Machine Cult heavy early, you're happy to have this. Get your ally and, have a base out there. But again, it doesn't scrap from discard. It doesn't do damage. It doesn't scrap itself. So it is limited. So it's okay. It's not bad. If you have no other scrap, it's better than no other scrap, that's for sure. Message Center. Here's another interesting one. It costs 4. It's got 5 outposts. You have to ally to draw a card. So by itself, it's super, super weak. It's not obviously great. But being able to ally to draw a card is not bad, and having an outpost. So if you're Machine Cult heavy early, this is something, of course, you're going to pick up. You're going to scoop up, get that defense out there. Plus, it's there to ally your other Machine Cult cards. So very situational. Warp Chapel. May shuffle a card into your discard pile from your deck. I love this one. 5 cost base, 5 outpost. This is another card that's going to let you recover cards. I think that's interesting because this one also shuffles. So could go to the bottom, could go to the top, could go to the middle. Who knows? Of course, this is a great one too if you have no cards in your deck. And then you shuffle 1 back. It's the card right there. And then if you have a draw ability, you're going to get it. Allies for 4 damage. It's not bad. I think this one's fun. And can get something back for you. Especially this is one, if you have a big deck later, kind of recover something and not have to wait to get it back for so long. All right, Star Empire, we got Star Jumper. So here's that other little one that does some economy for you that compared to the other one we had in the Conquest set. So this one is 2 trade. It gives you 3. Allies for 3 damage and they discard. This is pretty straightforward. You know, early econ for Star Empire, and then later on it has its ability with this. This is not a late game card unless you're going for a discard lock, but early game, this is, it's decent. Launcher. Here's another one too. Again, I don't hate cards that just automatically draw. This one here though, it doesn't do anything else by itself. It does ally for 3 damage though, but it also can scrap for 3 damage. So I think that's decent. And obviously if you're going, you know, heavy Star Empire, you're all about this because you want to draw cards and you want to have a chance to ally your Star Empire cards together to get their perks and their bonuses. So if you're going Star Empire early, heavy, yeah, exactly. It's not bad for that at all. Especially, again, being able to scrap itself out later. It's decent. So Assault Cruiser, we've got this bad boy out here. This is pretty huge. It only costs 6 and it does 7 damage and makes them discard. I'm all about that. That's not bad. And that it can also ally to make them discard another card. There's very few cards in this game that by themselves can make your opponent discard more than 1 card. And this is one of the ones that can do that. And this is one of the ones that could do this multiple turns. So again, if you are heavy Star Empire, you want this. If your opponent's heavy Star Empire, you want to get this off the row or just, again, buy it yourself. Do not let them get this or your hand is gone. This one here, I think, is monstrous. We'll see how this plays out. But making your opponent discard 2 cards from one of yours that doesn't cause it to scrap itself is pretty huge. It's pretty, I think this has to be the first one that does it without making you scrap it. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. That's a monster. Laser Sensor, we got a little 2-cost base, does 3 damage, scraps for 2. It's got 1 defense. I love this, especially if you're heavy Star Empire. But even without that, it's a little base. It's going to sit out there and do some damage. They're gonna spend 1 damage to kill it, but again, you're getting 3 damage. It's a swing of 4 every time you play this card. And when you don't need any more, pop it out for 3, scrap it for 2 more. It's not bad. This is an early game. I like it a lot. Mid to late game, meh, but Pirate Lair. So we've got another similar. Is this the same thing as the other one? Yeah, oh my god. Stealth Needle on that ship. Yeah, it's a scoop. That's what I call an offer handshake. Good game. I think this is the same card as that other one from Conquest. I'll have to check the numbers again. But yeah, this one costs 6. It does 4 allies for 4. It's got outpost 6. Is this the exact same card? I'm going to go back and check. Where was that? Cannon Station. It's the exact same card. Interesting. I mean, it is in a different expansion, plus now it is a rare. So now you have the ability to get 2 of them, but yeah, it's the exact same card. It's just a different name. So we have a Pirate Lair. So you got 2 of these in the deck if you're playing both of these sets here. I don't hate that. It's a rare. There's only 1 of it in the whole, expansion of this, so. Was it 5 outposts versus 6? Did I miss that? I'll take your word for it. You know what you're talking about. Okay, so just slightly different. Perfect. Then I like it more. At first I was like, eh. But if it is different. Okay. I can't read numbers, guys. Working with the American education system here. Take it easy on me. Alright? Reading, numbers. Got time for that. Playing video games. Alright, so we got Commerce Craft here. This one's good. I like this. Because I like it because you can scrap the draw. So if you don't get your trade fed with it early, you're okay. But if you ally this is solid. It's only 1 trade, which is weird early because early you want more trade. But I don't hate this if this is on the row and I got 1. Trade raft, potentially gives you that 2 trade versus this 1. This draws. That's most likely to get you another trade. This has the upside of gaining damage and life versus the ally draw from the trade raft. So you can kind of compare these two. I dig it. I think this is not bad. Here's my Robot Quest Arena ship. I can definitely see this running around the arena, doing some damage here. I love this one here. This, again, is another cantrip. You've got 3 costs. It gives you 3 authority and draws a card. Nothing wrong with that. And it also allies for 4 damage. That's pretty good. Especially, again, if you ally it with something like this. You get this turn 1. This flips. You grab this guy in turn 2. I'm not hating that at all. That's a lot of authority and damage flip-flopping going around in your favor. So I dig it. Police Cruiser. This guy's awesome. This guy's looking for the crooks, and he's going to do 8 damage to their faces for 6. And ally, put the next base you acquire directly into play. Not on top of your deck. Not on the bottom of your deck. Not acquired for free. Acquired for free, I guess, would be pretty cool, but ally to buy a base and put it directly into play. That's huge. That is huge. Again, it's big damage for 8, especially for trade fed. You don't normally see that. I love this card. I'm all about this card. Beam Station. You got your little blue base. I'm a fan of this one as well. It doesn't give you trade. So again, this is where you can kind of get yourself in a rabbit hole of not getting trade. And then later on, you're not being able to buy these more expensive cards. But this one's decent. 3 costs, 4 butt, non-outpost. So you can hide it. You can tuck it. 2 damage every turn. An ally for 4. Again, you get this. You get a couple of those other little blue ships. You can get a nice little build going there. Central Booking. This one here is an outpost. It's kind of like a smaller Assure 4 with a little less going on. Costs 4 or 5 outposts, 3 life every turn it's out, allies for 2 trade. Jury's kind of out on this one as far as I'm concerned. Maybe 2 trade and ally for 3 authority would be a little too good with the 5 outpost. I don't know. That's interesting. So we'll see. All right, so we've got Transfer Station. 5 costs, 4 outposts. So this does the flip-flop in the trade, getting the trade first. I like this one a lot because you're getting 3 trade every turn. To me, you're getting the Trade Federation. I want that trade, especially obviously early. You get this thing out there. Only has a 4 outposts though, so you got to watch out for that. I think it's pretty well costed. Maybe I'm overvaluing this one a little bit. Also, I'm kind of surprised this one's a rare. But getting 3 trade every turn off of a card is pretty decent, especially if it has a chance of sticking around. All right, let's go jump over to Conquest Digital Backer. Right, we got War Beetle. I love this card. No ifs, ands, or buts. 1 cost. Give me 2 damage in a trade. I'm taking that all day. Ally for 2 damage and scrap it for another trade. For a little blob beater. I'm all about this. You got your Star Pod. So this one's interesting. 3 costs for gives you 3 trades, so it evens up. This is gonna be your early econ card for your blob deck. It doesn't scrap itself though, but it allies for 6 freaking damage. So if you are able to score some more blobs following up with this, you're gonna be pretty happy every time this allies. If it doesn't, it's kind of a dud. But I think this is one that you're probably taking early, grabbing some of the blobbies, hopefully with it, and get it to work. Plasma Worm. This guy's pretty cool. 6 cost. Another cantrip guy. Does 5 damage and draws a card. That's it. That's what it does. I don't hate this at all. It does a little light on damage for 6 costs for blob, but the fact that it just draws without a faction is pretty decent. And again, this is something you could get. You don't need to be in blob to get the benefit of this. This is a pretty decent card. Larvae Cluster. This is a pretty wild one here as well, too. It's a whole bunch of them, and the larvae are coming out, and they're ready to play. All right, so you've got 3 cost base, 3 outpost, or non-outpost. So again, you can tuck it behind the outpost. Gives you 2 trade a turn, allies for 3 damage. It's decent. The fact that you're getting 2 trade a turn off a blob base, that's actually pretty good, especially early. You don't see that too often. So you get this and a couple of those little other blob guys, you're good to go. Breeding Pit, we got a bigger one here. We have, again, kind of that reverse. We're getting the damage first, ally for the trade. 4 cost for 4 non-outpost. I dig this one here. I think you're buying this. You're buying this almost every time early for sure. They got to deal with it. If they don't, it's going to be smacking them before a turn. And then if you're allying it up, you're getting the trade. You know, possibly in the deck 2 or 3, so those bigger ships. Make it happen. Mining Hive, 5/5. 5 cost, 5 defense. Non-outpost. They get important. You can tuck it. You know, I bind outpost. Every turn it's out, 2 damage. Or, I'm sorry, 2 trade, 3 damage. I don't hate it. The numbers are pretty decent for a 5 cost. So I don't hate it. It's decent. It's not bad. Alright, so let's get over to the machine cult here. We've got Warp Bot. This is an interesting one here. No scrap. 2 trade, and you may shuffle a card from your discard pile in your deck. So again, it's another recovery type card. And it can ally for 4 damage. I don't hate this one. This is an early econ purchase with an ability to keep your deck stacked a little bit. And it's a shuffle too. So it's, again, one of those where it's not necessarily in the bottom. Potentially could get to the top draw, all that good stuff. Allying for a decent amount of damage is okay. Doesn't self-scrap, though. So keep that in mind. Factory Mech, this one's phenomenal. This one is like the new Mighty Mech. Mighty Mech is phenomenal. This is 4 trade, gives you 3 trade every turn you play it. And you can scrap from your hand or discard. Instead of allying for damage, it allies for a card draw, which I think is awesome. And it also scraps to draw a card, so it scraps itself out, which I think is really key, especially for a machine cult ship that doesn't do any damage. Being able to scrap itself out, draw a card to replace it, that's a great thing. So this is a phenomenal card, and it's rare. There's only one, so I can see that. Warp Mech, we got 5 cost ship, 6 damage, and shuffle 2 from your discard pile into your... Alright, so that's cut off there. I didn't think about that. Let me take a little snip here. Load up my snipping tool here. I'm going to send this over to Joel real quick. I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, if stuff comes up, obviously I'm going to send it over real quick. All right, perfect. So yeah, if we do, that's the other nice thing about this too. We can kind of point out some of these things for them a little bit early. So yeah, you may shuffle 2 cards from your discard pile. Obviously, I'm assuming into your deck. That's not bad. It's 6 damage for 5, which is okay. But the fact again that you're shuffling stuff in, you're getting stuff back in your deck, so you don't have to wait for the full shuffle to go through. I dig that's not bad. Battle Beacon. This one is interesting. It's a little cheaper than a battle station. It only costs 2 instead of 3. It's only 4 outposts instead of 5. It also scraps for 4 instead of 5. It's not bad, especially if you've got the early little machine cult ships and you want something to ally with it. You're going to pick this up. But just keep in mind, it's like a weaker battle station. Again, it's not terrible. Warp Temple. We got a machine cult base. Cost 6. Give you a 6 butt outpost. For 2, it gives you 2 trade every turn. And you can shuffle a card from your discard pile into your deck. Again, we've got more of this recycling. And then it does ally to scrap a card in your hand or discard. So this one's not bad at all. Getting consistent trade from a machine cult base is not common. It is an expensive purchase. It's not cheap. But it does ally for the scrapping, so that's pretty good. Firestar, this guy's pretty good. You've got your 2 damage for 1. That's okay. It's not great. It's on the lower end. It does ally to draw a card to replace itself. It does scrap to make your opponent discard. This is a pretty weak card by itself. Obviously, in a heavy Star Empire, this is pretty decent because it's going to replace itself. It's like a Corvette. Or if you're looking just to get a few extra cards, maybe get that discard lockdown for a turn or two. This could help you towards that. By itself, it's kind of weak. Star Blaster. This one's huge. Probably buying this one every time. Yeah, exactly. They're hiding out. Star Blaster, 4 trade, 6 damage. Your opponent discards a card. It's pretty vanilla, pretty straightforward. It does what it does, and I'm not hating that at all. It's a good chunk of damage. It's hitting them for a card. It doesn't cost very much to get. Buying this one every time. Pretty happy about that. Battle Frigate for 5 trade. I'm getting 6 damage in a draw. This is also another one. Very vanilla, very generic. I love it, though. It does exactly what I want. It's going to give me good damage, and it's going to draw. It's going to cantrip. For only 5, that's not too expensive. Again, this is another one. I'm probably buying it every time I get a chance to. Star Liner. So this is your big boy here. 7 cost. It draws 2 cards. So it doesn't do any damage. It just draws 2 cards. Doesn't make them discard or anything. It allies for 4 trade. And then you can scrap it to destroy a target base. So, I mean, it's okay. Obviously, if you get like a big turn where you've got like a lot of trade laying around or early, you can get this like in your deck early. It's good because it's going to help you cycle through your deck more. Then it's good, especially if you're early and you've got Star Empire, then it's going to be more trades, big purchases later. It's okay. The fact that it doesn't do anything else here is kind of interesting. But drawing 2 off of 1 card is never a bad thing. We've got a supply gate here. We got a Star Empire base. This is all about the trade, all about the economy. Cost 3, 4 outpost. Gives you a trade, allies for 2. And by itself, it's pretty weak. With a bunch of little Star Empire ships, it's not bad at all. Because Star Empire usually can need some help with the economy early. This is a card that can do that. Especially if you can ally. Getting 3 trade off of this is not bad. So it's okay. Again, situationally it could be better, or situationally it could be worse. Hideout. This is a card that you don't hate. You'd like to see a little bit of damage on it. It's 4 cost, 5 outpost. Your opponent discards a card. Of course, if you've got other cards that are making them discard as well, though, this is an instant purchase. Anything you can get to stick out there and make them discard, especially more than 1 turn in a row, is good. So it's okay. It's not bad. Smuggler's Den costs you 5. It's going to give you a 2. It's only 4 butt outposts, but it's ally for 5 damage. So I think that's kind of like what saves this card from being bad to being okay. 5 is pretty sizable for an ally damage bonus. That's pretty large. So especially if you're building, like I said, a lot of little Star Empires, ships or bases, throw this in there for sure, obviously, with that ally 5 damage. So that saves us to make it pretty decent in the right deck. Police Cutter. I saw this one yesterday and I just cracked up. It is awesome. I want this one every time. This is like a more, quote unquote, more balanced cutter. It gives you 2 trade, 2 damage, 2 authority gain, all off the rip. I love that. I think that's huge for 2. And it allies for 1 more trade because, why not? I think this is obviously early game, phenomenal purchase. Late game, very situational. But I do like this card a lot. We've got Wildcat here. This is a 4 cost ship for trade fed. Gives you 3. You can ally, put a ship you acquire this turn on top of your deck, which is pretty nice. You can also scrap for a couple extra damage. So this is something nice. You can get like a burst purchase out of it. You could use its ability, and then try to get like a bigger card. Give me some different things you can do this one. It's not bad. Early, it's really good. Merchant Marine. Just like Drew Carey is in the Merchant Marines, as you're aware. 5 trade. gives you 3 back every time you play it and you draw. So I like that. I don't hate that at all. The fact that it gives you trade and draws. And then it allies for 6 authority. I think that's pretty decent. It's okay. It's only 5 though. Obviously, you get 5 deck 1 or 2. This is a pretty good purchase. Later on, very situational. Tripwire, you got your little trade fed base. It's going to generate some authority gain for you every turn. It's going to ally for damage. It is an outpost and it's only 2 defense. So this is it's an iffy purchase. Yeah, it's two outposts is not much, but I mean, at worst, you're going to play it. You're going to gain 2. It's going to soak 2. That's a 4 authority swing in your favor. So it's, you got to look at the small numbers that way. Police station's pretty cool, however. I do dig this one. I don't know why. I like that it's got a 6 outpost, which is pretty sizable. I like the fact that it's shooting for 3 a turn. It's giving you some much needed damage from a trade fed base, which is not normal. And it does ally for a sizable amount of 6 authority gain. So this is something, especially if I got some other trade feds going. I'm happy seeing this. But it's not huge and it's not like super powerful either. So, all right, let's keep going. Let's keep the truck going here. Got Conquest follower promos. We'll check this out. Port Alliance. We're starting out big here apparently. Holy smokes! We've got a 7 cost. Okay, so this is. Oh, I forgot to mention too. Like when you do click on these, there's usually a little write up here about what it is, and it'll tell you. You know, Conquest is a standalone. This is 12 dual faction ships and bases. This is put in your hand, you know, so it's going to give you a little write-up. I totally didn't mention that before. So, okay, let's get going here. We got Port Alliance. We got Star Empire, Trade Federation base, dual faction 7 costs. It gives you 4 trade a turn, which is pretty huge. Allies Trade Fed for 5 authority. Ally Star Empire for making your opponent discard. So it does exactly what you would think this combination would do. So I kind of dig that. 7 is pretty hefty price, but it gives you a lot of trade in return and a decent ally abilities as well. So I dig it. I love this card. I love this card. Pack Tracer is awesome. This is going to be your blob trade fed ship. It's 2 for 2. You want this early. But it allies either one of those factions for 5 damage. I think this is huge, being able to get the double option for the ally for a sizable damage bonus. I love this card. Sarbot's decent. It's a 1 cost for 2 damage, but it does have the ability to double ally for a draw. Machine Cult is something like every color wants to faction with, so you want to get that if you can, and if you do, you're going to draw. So it's okay. It's like a Corvette. Plasma Station. We've got your Blob Star Empire combo going on here. Straight damage. 6 cost, 6 defense, non-outpost. Does 3, allies for 3. There's nothing to hate there. Pod Station. We got 5 costs for a 5 outpost. Does 2. It's your Blob Machine Cult. Allies to draw a card. Drawing a card again is, I still feel, the most powerful effect. So that's not bad. It does a little bit of damage, but it's got a faction draw, which is decent. This card's okay. Star Hunter. This one's interesting. You know, you've got your 4 cost. Get your 3 trade. You got your Star Empire trade fed. Ally to draw. That's good. This is a good one early. Very situational later. Swarmbot. I saw this one yesterday a few times. Interesting. 3 for 3. So it's going to be your early econ card. But it is ally to scrap. So that's very nice to see. And also allies to do damage. So it's got separate allied abilities here. And they're both good. So that's not bad. We got this bad boy here. Coalition Bastion. 8 costs for 6 Bud Outposts. Draws a card automatically. Machine Cult Trade Fed. Machine Cult scraps ally. Trade Fed gains you life. Gains you 6. That's a good amount. Scrap from hand or discard is awesome. I don't know if I needed to see something else here to make this like a solid card. I think it's, this is one you're still not upset about having. But feels maybe a little bit weak for an 8-cost base. I don't know. Maybe I'm undervaluing it. But it's good. It's so good, though. All right, so we're done with that one. Let's keep trucking here. We got some ground to make up here. Conquest planets. So this is going to be our first look at planets. Planets are conquered from the trade row with combat, not trade. Once the planet is conquered, provides this bonus for as long as it's in place. So what that means is this card will come up in the trade row. It's going to have a value here for combat. You have to spend that much combat out of your pool to conquer the planet. And then the planet's taken off the trade row, it's put onto your side. And then you get a permanent effect for the rest of the game. Now, there is one card in here already that can kill planets. So I don't know if we'll see more in the future, but there's one in here already that can do it. So this is, and some of them are bigger effects, some of them are smaller effects, and obviously that's going to affect like how much damage you have to do. So Construction Junction, so this makes for the rest of the game, all your bases cost 1 less. Later on, this is probably a waste, you'd rather do the 6 damage to them, but early on, this can be pretty huge because I will tell you there's also ones that work with factions that make factions cost less. So yesterday I had this one, and I also had the Machine Cult one that makes my Machine Cult cards cost 1 less. So I was buying Machine Cult bases for 2 less. It was pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Farm World. This is going to give you a trade every turn. Again, 6 seems like a big investment, but if you've got 6 damage early, I'm probably tempted to do this because if it's in the first couple turns, that means every turn after that, especially if I think the game's going to go longer, I'm going to have free trade every single turn. That's how you get those bigger 6, 7s, and 8 purchases. So I like it. Federation Primes. This is an example. It's 5 damage. To get it, your trade fed ships and bases cost you 1 less. Pretty straightforward. This is Fleet, so it's kind of like the base one. Your ships cost 1 less, but it's every faction color your ships cost 1 less. So early on, that's pretty huge. Blobs are 1 less, ships and bases. Machine Cults are 1 less, ships and bases. Pirate Landing, so there's one where you spend 5, you get 1. So we had a game yesterday where I was playing against Joel, and he got this very early. And then we counted like how many turns we were in the game, and he had exceeded, the 5 turns that he had it out. So every turn after that, it was basically a net gain. So early on, this is really good. Later on, situational. Star Empire is cheaper. Smuggling Den. So this one's pretty cool. Acquire a target card from the roll for free. This one is actually monstrous. It's huge. So if you've got trade, but you don't have, you've got combat, but you don't have trade, and there's a big card on the roll, there's a bomb, blow this up, grab it on your side, scrap it, buy that card for free. I did that multiple times yesterday. It's pretty good. All right, we got reserves promos. This is let you trigger ability when they buy the card. So here's one of the mechanics that's similar to people that are familiar with Rise of Empire. Some of those cards, when you buy them, they have an effect. So this one here is an Enforcer, 5 cost, 5 damage, 5 authority, gives you 2 trade ally. But when you buy it, you also ally trade fed. So if you have other trade feds out, this is something good to buy off the row. You can ally them. You're going to see ones from all the factions on here. Orbital Eye, very cheap costing, 1 trade, 1 life, 2 outposts. When you buy it, you trigger trade fed again. It's not bad by itself, not great, but again, if you want to be able to trigger on the fly. Jamming Center, this one's awesome. 7 cost, 7 defense, non-outposts. That is monstrous. Target opponent discards and 4 damage. I mean, that alone is just great. And then also when you buy it, you trigger your Star Empire. So that's pretty good. Star Skiff, this is your smaller little econ guy, but this card's phenomenal. 2 trade, it's going to give you 3 every time you play it. Allies to draw. Scraps for 2 when you don't need it anymore. And when you buy it, it gives you Star Empire. Like, I'm hard pressed to find a reason not to buy this card if it's on the row. Alpha Colony, this one's pretty decent. Automatically draw a card is great. Ally for 2 trade is okay. When you buy it, you do ally your blob though. So there's a lot of powerful blob effects that you just want to ally one time. This is, a way to do that off the row. Transport Spike, this one's decent. Again, you're going to spend 1. It's going to give you 2 every time you play it. Doesn't do damage inherently without ally, no. It does ally for 3 damage though. So if you're playing blob heavy, you're going to get your blob ally, and then later on this work for you. So, but otherwise, this is very situational. Shining Eye. 5 costs for a 7 outpost. Okay, I guess I didn't see that. That's awesome. So that's a lot of outposts for 5 costs. It does only give you 1 trade, 1 damage though. Okay, so that makes sense. A lot of its value is in that big outpost part. But then again, when you buy it, you're going to ally your machine cult, which again is very, very important for a lot of those machine allies. Razorbot. I love this one. This one's phenomenal. 3 costs. It does 2 damage and scraps from hand or discard automatically. That's great. Allies to draw a card. And when you buy it, you scrap or you, ally your machine cult. So this one's pretty solid. The fact that ally draw again in machine cult is pretty good. You don't see that too often. Okay, let's go over here. Strike Force promos. These give you a bonus when they're put in your discard. So this is a new mechanic. So when you buy the card and it goes to your discard, you get the bonus. When you play the card and then it goes to your discard at the end of your turn, you get the bonus. If it's a base, you put it out, and then your opponent blows up the base and it goes to your discard, you get the bonus. It's huge. So this guy here, 6 costs, gives you 4 trade, does 5 damage, goes to your... So right away when you buy it, you're gaining 5 authority. Every time you play it after that, at the end of each turn, you're gaining 5 authority. That's great. So this basically is 4 trade and 5 authority, plus it can ally for 5 damage. That's pretty decent for 6. Supply Stop. We've got here, it's a 3 outpost. So we've got 1 trade. When the card goes to your discard pile, you gain 3 life, 3 authority. Again, same thing. It's going to happen every time. Guardian, 5 for 5 outpost. I like that. It does 2 damage. This one's huge. Draw a card. It costs 5, and it only does 2, so that's kind of where some of its value is there. But again, you buy it, draw a card. When you play it and they blow it up, draw a card. It's awesome. I'm assuming then too, yeah, if you have a card that does a draw discard and you discard it, draw a card. So that's pretty huge. This one here, this one's great off the row. Patrol Frigate, 3 for 4 damage, ally for 2, but here, when you buy it, they discard. When you play it, end of turn, they discard. So this is obviously phenomenal for going for that discard lock. Behemoth, this one's pretty cool. It's 7 cost. It gives you 4 trade and draw a card. For a blob ship that's 7, doesn't do any damage. That's kind of scary, but when you buy it, you get an Explorer to your hand. Every turn that you play it and then you spend it, you get an Explorer to your hand. The nice thing about that, it allies for 6 damage, I say too. But the nice thing about this part here is this is going to put an Explorer in your hand for your following turn. So you're going to be able to build up that hand for a big purchase or additional damage or whatever the case may be. Defense against discard, all sorts of things like that. So it's a big investment, but it's basically adding a card to your hand every time you play it. It's pretty huge. Starfish, 2 damage, 2 trade. Same thing. This is the Explorer one. So just like the ship, this is a smaller version of it. This one, I like this one a little bit more because it's so much easier to buy. It's a little bit cheaper. Furnace. Ooh, we got a little butterfly. Rest in peace, Shifty. So this is the 8 cost, 6 outpost, 4 damage, and you can scrap from your hand or discard automatically. And when you buy it, you draw a card. Again, you put it out, they kill it, draw a card. It's pretty huge. Transitbot, same thing. It's 3, gives you 2, allies for 5, draw a card. The draw a card on this here, because this one doesn't scrap, and it doesn't scrap itself, but the fact that you know every turn you play it, you're going to end up drawing a card at the end of turn, that adds a lot of value to it. Fleet Heroes. We'll go over this one real quick. I'm just going to speed this up a little bit, except for Heroes. I do want to obviously go into more detail with these guys here. This is Star-Lord Chastain. So this is Tim Chastain. This is Jackie Chastain's husband. She won, at this point when they made this set, she had won 2 Legend events. So she was able to gift her card to her husband. Let's So last set in this set, let's say you assimilate one of those cards from your opponent. Will that work? Let's say you assimilate one of those cards from your opponent. Will that work? I guess I'm not following your question completely. Oh, I get it. Yeah. If you, that's a good question. So, like, if it's in their discard, you buy it. I believe so, because I think that's how Incinerator or Assimilator is even written. I think it does say place it in your discard. So to me, that would only make sense, and that's how like the mechanics shows in the app and stuff like that. Yeah, I would have to imagine again. We'll find out for sure, or it's a question for Joel. But to me, that totally makes sense. So this here is a 5-cost hero. Scrap it. You ally Star Empire. Draw 2 cards. Pretty straightforward. This is a good one to buy early. Bank it for later. Pretty decent hero card. Dun, dun, dun. This is Dion Lunsford, who is hopefully still in the house. Could probably be working. But this is his hero card. It's a nice one because it's very easy to buy. I like these smaller hero cards because you're gonna buy it every time. It's not gonna sit out there. This one's pretty straightforward. It's a 1-cost. Scrap it. You get Star Empire. It does 2 damage. Your Star Empire ally, as we've seen here, is very important for all of these small Star Empire ships, even the big ones too. So congratulations, Dion. This one is awesome. I love it. It's very straightforward. Again, 2 damage for 1 is great automatically with the ally bonus. We're good to go. So it's nice to see this too, because it's similar to like the Ram Pilot. Now we have one for Star Empire. Maybe we'll start seeing more of these for more colors or more factions, especially now we have so many Legend winners. Very cool. So we have Hybrid Leader Winnicki. I'm not familiar who this person is, but it is a larger faction. It's 5-cost. Scrap it, get Blob and 8 damage. This, of course, is a no-brainer. This is on the row. You're picking it up. It's a one-time 8 damage hit. It's not going to clog up your base. It's going to ally Blob. Again, no-brainer. Especially any of these damage ones like this. You'd have to have a reason. Not like there's got to be a really good chipper base you're buying instead of this to leave these on the row. Buying these heroes that do just straight damage, you have to have a solid reason for not buying these. We got Swarm Soldier here. This is not a person I recognize. I don't know if you guys recognize this person. Who? So, but it is a Scrap It. I don't know. Scrap It. You gain Blob, and then you gain 2 damage for every Blob card you play this turn. So this is interesting. So this is one where that's his. Okay. I can't remember his actual name, man, but yes, Mikola. So that's his card. So that's very cool to see. I believe that's one of the Polish players. He might have won his out there. So this one here, if you played a couple Blob cards, you get more damage out of it. The more you play, the more damage you get out of it. Obviously, this one with the Blob World and you get all that shenanigans going on. It gets better by itself, though. It could not do very much. So, again, it's an interesting one. Fleet Strategist Waits. I'm not familiar who this is, so if anyone knows who this is off the top of their head. This one is your 5-cost trade fed. Scrap it, you get Trade Federation for the turn, draw a card, and gain 9 authority. Again, almost all these are going to give you authority. It's going to give you a large number, and the fact that it draws 2 is huge. Again, this is another one you're hopefully going to buy and park it for later. Who knows? Or later in the game, of course, you're just going to buy it automatically. But interesting to see that dynamic there with the value of the authority gain and the draw card. Here is Lieutenant Governor Labella. This is John Tough Labella. I imagine he's not here. He's East Coast. He's got kids. This is way too late for him. But hopefully he'll be watching this later on the VOD. So he actually has a couple of cards in here in these sets. So he's won, I think at this point when this is made, 3 Star Realms Legend events. So this is his hero card, which you can scrap it, get trade fed, put the next Federation chipper base, you acquire top of your deck. So it's very specialized. And I believe he explained the background of this here. Spoiler, when I get to the command decks, he is the Blob commander, the monocolor blob command deck commander. And so this is when he was actually with the Trade Federation before he was seduced by the blob and joined them for a promotion. So I believe that's the background, something to that effect. I'm sure he has a much more elaborate story than I just said. So this is the one and only Juan Carlos, old school fan page member. One of my favorite opponents to ever play against. The guy is just a monster. And he's on the other side of the world, so plays late at night. But this is Mech Priest Juan, 5 cost, Machine Call Hero. I like this one a lot. This is a very unique ability. Grab a card from your discard pile, put it in your hand, and another one, put it on top of your deck. So, I mean, I got to play this one yesterday, especially if you have a... or this is one that Joel knows. It apparently doesn't work currently in the dev. Like, I scrapped it and it didn't do anything. So, yeah, especially if you've got one that can draw and another bomb, get the one that draws, put the bomb on top, draw it. You know, this is a very unique ability to be able to do both of those things on one card. Pretty cool. This is Devotee Diwag. Again, I don't know who this person is off the top of my head, so if anyone knows that, feel free to shout it out. This is a Machine Cult 1-coster. You can scrap a card from your discard pile. Again, this is an auto purchase early, even late, but definitely early. It's an auto purchase. If you got a couple starters in your discard, you got that one trade, left over. You love seeing something like this, especially the War Elder in the earlier one. That's 1 cost. It only scraps from hand, so this one's kind of cool that it scraps from discard. Gives you that option as well. And this is Lead Tactician Rudolph. This is Dave Rudolph, aka Nautical Stew. I love this one. This is a factionless one. You scrap it. You count as having an additional ally symbol for every faction for the turn. Draw a card and gain 3. So that is absolutely huge. You're getting an ally for all 4 factions. You're drawing a card and you're getting 3 trade. I mean, this is such a bomb to bank. Buy this early, pop it later for a big purchase when you need it, or you need like the ally. This one is such a good card. So, and here we have Colonel Swisher. I don't know who this person is. If anyone knows who this is, let me know. I have a feeling this might be a fictitious person based on the artwork. That's kind of been what's led me. So like a lot of these ones that are based on players, actual people, you'll see this looks basically just like them. And this one does not, to me, look like a real person. Could be. But this is a non-faction as well, a colorless commander. Scrap it, you get an ally of all factions for that turn. So no trade, no purchase power, all that good stuff. But it's only 1. This, again, is another one you're going to bank as soon as it comes out there. Good to go. All right, so let's keep going. So there, again, there's more sets here, so we'll pound through these as quick as we can. I know we're up on time here, but we're going to keep going. Fleet Launch. So these are the ones, if you've played something of that color, you put it into your hand. Similar to the Colony Wars mechanic. Inspection Post. 3 costs, 4 outposts. If you played blue, comes into play. I'll just call it the color blue, Trade Federation. Gain 3 authority. I don't hate this. This is something, if I got 3 trade and you played a cutter, you're obviously going to put this out. Now you can ally your cutter and you've got this out there. So that's everything to keep in mind with these things too. Like, they might not necessarily be super powerful themselves. It's going to be balanced off the fact that you're playing at that turn, but also that card you played may want something to ally its ability off of. So that's something to keep in mind with that. This guy's a beast. 6 trade for 5 damage, 5 authority gain. You played your little Fed shuttle, you pop this out. Okay, seems good to me. So this is something too, like, even without the coming into play, you're still eyeing this card up. There's decent stats, but especially being able to put it into play, that's awesome. That's huge. Launch Poach, Star Empire. It's a little bit bigger base, a little bit more costing. But again, if you've got a couple of small Star Empire ships and you want, especially want to get an ally off of them, solid one to purchase. This one doesn't do any damage, but it does give you trade. Again, the main thing with this is going to get you ally for those cards too. Nova Blaster. This one's awesome. I mean, I look at this, I'm like, I'm probably buying this anyways. It's only 3 cost. 4 damage makes them discard. You know, I'm not hating that at all. But the fact that you put it directly into play, I mean, you got your Imperial Frigate, you're putting this guy out. It's like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. You're buying this one almost every time. Plasma Spike, same thing. Little blob base comes out there, gets you some damage, gets you some ally for your blob that you probably want an awesome ally ability. And then, of course, you get the Big Daddy. Like, I mean, you know, I'm going to play my Moonworm, and then I'm going to play Battle Worm. It's like, what? It comes into play, does 8 damage. And then it's going to ally off the blob card you had to have out to trigger this ability to come into play to draw another card. For 7. But, I mean, it's very cost appropriate. Yeah, you're buying this every time. You're probably buying this even without the put into play directly ability, especially obviously if you got blobs. So that's a big boy. Lighthouse. We got your little scrapper base, 4 for 4 scrap hand or discard. That's pretty huge. Again, get your machine called scrap. Service bot. I dig this one. Gives you a little bit of trade. Gives you 4 damage, which is sizable. Ally for the scrap. Again, you played a machine cult to get it into play, so you're going to scrap. Good stuff with that one here. Fleet reserves. Trigger ally abilities when you buy the card. The same thing as before. You buy it, you get trade fed for the turn. 5 cost, 5 defense, 3 damage, 4 authority. Nothing to hate there. It's pretty decent. Federation Courier. So you got 3 for 3. But allies for draw and scraps for damage. So being able to get this early, even if you don't need the ally, getting this early and then be able to scrap it out later, that's a pretty good bonus. Defense Star, this one's decent. 6 for 6, 6 outposts, which is nice. Excuse me. 4 damage and does ally Star Empire when you play it. Again, a lot of those little Star Empire ships, they need the ally to really get their value. Scimitar. This one is one of those, you know, definitely on the fence. It's 1 cost and makes them discard. That's what it does. Going for discard lock, or you've got a lot of Star Empire, you know, this is a no-brainer. You're pounding this one. Allies for 5 damage, which is pretty huge. But also, when you buy it, it's going to trigger your Star Empire ally. So, makes it a lot more tempting to buy it, especially when you've got a ship out, get that bonus, then play this later. Hopefully, you pair them up. This one's the big boy. This is a no-brainer. 8 cost, 4 damage and a draw is not bad by itself. But the fact that also you get the blob ally that turn, and it's got a 7 defense non-outpost, so you can tuck up 100 outposts. That's pretty good. Tusker, I dig this one. 2 trade, 2 damage for 2. I'm not hating that, especially with the ally for 3 more damage. I'm not hating that at all. The fact that you buy this, you can ally blob. That's pretty good. So no worries there. Orbital Temple, this is your big boy machine cult guy. 7 for 7 outpost. Gives you 2 trade, you can scrap. You get machine cult, so again, it's not value-wise is interesting. It's going to get you an automatic scrap, going to get you trade. But getting machine cult allies is pretty important for a lot of those cards too, so. We've got Garbage Bot. Okay, so this one is automatic scrap. Doesn't give you any trade. Doesn't give you any damage. You can ally it to draw, but you can also scrap it for 2 damage. And again, get you that machine cult. So I don't hate this one, especially the fact that I can get my machine ally, play it later, scrap a card, pop it for 2 damage. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. All right, we got Fleet Strike Force. So we've got, this is when they put in your discard. So again, it's another set with that. Excuse me. So we got the Trade Federation. When it goes your discard, gain 5 every time. Gives you 3 trades, 7 outposts, 7 defense. I don't hate this at all. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to gain 5 life. And then every time it's out there, it's going to block for 7. And then when they kill it, I'm going to get 5 more life as well. Nothing to hate there at all. We've got Inspector. This one's a little one coster. It gives you one trade, 2 damage. It's okay. It's got an ally for 2 damage, which is decent. But every time it goes to that discard, you're getting 3 life every time. Digging that. Castle Rock. This one I do like. It's a big boy. It's expensive. But it's going to give you 5 damage and draw. And when they kill it or you bought it, you're going to draw. So it's like, I'm going to put it out, draw. It's going to soak 6 damage. And then I'm going to draw again off that. So this one I think is appropriately costed. 8 should do a lot. I think you're getting double draw off of 1 card. That's pretty good. Blade Star. We saw this one a number of times last night. This one's pretty good, especially if you're working on a discard build. When it goes to your discard, you make them or goes to your discard, makes them discard. So you buy it, they discard. Every time you play it, end of turn, they discard. Gives you 3 trade for 2, allies for 2. Don't hate it at all. The Shell. This is another one that's going to put an Explorer in your hand. Does damage, allies for trade. Pretty decent cost for 5. I don't hate this at all. And again, the fact that it's going to give you that Explorer when you buy it. So keep that in mind. Like the turn you buy it, get your Explorer right away. So then you can use it. And then every time it's out there and then they kill it, you're going to get an Explorer for your following turn. So you're going to get a 6 card in your hand. Starworm. So we've got a 3 cost, 5 damage. That's pretty decent ratio. It's going to ally for 2. Same thing though, this does the Explorer thing. So you're getting that extra Explorer right away. This is a great early purchase. You know, you buy this, like say you're player 1, you got 3 scouts, you play this. You buy this, you get an Explorer, you can do some more. What's up, Matt? Good seeing you, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Check the replay. We're coming up, you know, we're grinding through an hour or 2, or finishing up hour 2. And I got just a couple more sets to go. But it's very, very cool stuff. We got the Rock. So it's a 6 cost, 6 defense outpost. Does 4. Same thing though, this is a card drawing machine. You buy it, you draw a card. You put it out, they kill it, you draw a card. So it just gets that draw machine going. And same thing, here's a ship version of that assault mech. 4 damage, allies to scrap, which is huge. And then again, you buy it, you draw. You play it, end of turn, it goes to your discard, you draw. So that's pretty huge, that's awesome. All right, we got 2 more sets to go through here, boys and girls. This is another one where they can come directly into play. So we've got Assault Station, 6 cost, 5 defense. Trade Fed Base gives you 3 health, 3 damage. Again, numbers are a little tamed down because this thing can come directly into play. You know, you play a cutter, you get this guy out there, now you're going to ally off of that. Pretty good bonus. Assault Wing, I love this one here. It's 1 for 4. So I was looking at this one yesterday. You got 4 damage for 1 trade. I don't hate that as it is. This you can scrap it for 3 authority as well. But again, let's say you played a Fed Shuttle for 1. And then you buy this off the row. You put it directly into your hand. And then you play it. Now you're going to ally your trade Fed, your Fed Shuttle. And this is going to smack them for 4. That's pretty cool. Star Vulture. Again, this is a little bit bigger boy. It's going to be 6. But it's going to do 4 damage and draw. Keep in mind, you're going to ally your Star Empire ship that you played. That's going to get a most likely an ally bonus. And then if you want to, you can scrap this to make them discard. So worst case scenario, you're buying discard off the row. You're getting a good hit. You're getting draw. You're getting an ally. So this card actually does a lot of value for that 6 trade. Stellar Mine. This is kind of the same thing. This is nothing great. It does 1 damage. It's a 2 defense outpost, scrap it for trade. But you played a little, you know, Imperial Fighter. You play this out. Also, now you get your Star Empire ally bonus. You can put this out. Worst case scenario, you get the damage. You scrap this for a trade. You only lost 1 trade. Basically to buy Star Empire ally off the row. So that's pretty decent value. So here's one of the ones. Again, there's a couple cards that aren't there working there yet for it. Just a couple. I think there literally might be 2 cards. Micro Worm. 2 trade. 2 and you scrap a card off the trade row. That's huge. Ally to draw a card. Again, you played a blob, so you're going to have the ally for blob. So you're going to be able to pop that out there. So that's good stuff with that one. Trade roll control again. You're seeing some of these cards. You're seeing some of these heroes. Seeing some of these planets. You want to keep the row under control as much as you can. Here's the other card. Supply Colony. 2 trade, destroy target base. This is awesome because you can buy this off the row if you play, you play your Blob Destroyer, you play 5 trade, you pull this off the row, you play it. Now your Blob Destroyer can blow up a base for free if you need to. You could scrap this and also blow up a base, also, blow up another one. Again, I think the big thing with these is getting ally bonus off the card that you played to get this card into play. Yeah, it's pretty late, Brett. We're past time, but we're gonna finish this up. We have about a set and a half left to go. I kind of took my time with the first couple of sets, and I was like going over each card and kind of evaluating them. And now we're kind of just like burning through a little bit sooner. So, but thanks for stopping in. Make sure you guys check out Coon1Z Brett. Not sure how to pronounce that. But he normally streams on the weekends, 10 p.m. Eastern, usually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Some weekends he's a little bit busy, but he'll be posting when he does. But otherwise, make sure you check him out. We got Firebot here. This one again, 3 costs. It's 2 scrap from your hand or discard. You played your trade bot. You can put this out directly into play. That's phenomenal. You're getting another scrap, more damage. You're allying. That's all good. Divine Light. This is your big boy machine cult one. 7 cost, but it's 5 outposts. Gives you 2 trades, so you get 2 trade refund back, and then you can scrap for hand or discard. Keep in mind, Coons. There you go. German. Gotcha. I'm allegedly German. So yeah. And then, again, you're going to ally off your machine cult. So, it's a little more expensive here, but again, it's a 5 butt outpost. You're putting it directly into play as well. So that's good. All right. So we got Conquest New Worlds. There's more planets. There's another pack of planets. So this is your other pack of planets. We'll go over this one here. Yeah, I love the direct to hand ones. They're pretty awesome. We got Alpha Prime, so this is going to be a 7 damage to get rid of. Once per turn, draw a card if you play 2 cards of the same faction. If you want to have a streamlined deck that's working, you're going to really try to focus on 1 or 2 factions. Maybe splash in some Machine Cult. But if you're able to get that working, this is going to be a draw machine. I think especially early-ish, sacrifice the 7 damage, get that extra potential draw every turn. Could be good. This is the hub once per turn. Draw a card if you played a base that turn. So if you've got a base heavy deck, especially if you're going to extend that game out, you can afford to get rid of 7 damage. This is something to consider. Getting that, again, extra draw. And something to keep in mind, too. These stack. So let's say I'm playing like a trade-fed heavy deck with trade-fed ships, trade-fed bases. I get 2 of those cards. And this is 2 cards. This isn't even bases. This is 2 cards. So I can play 2 trade-fed bases. I draw a card off of this one here. If I've got this out, I draw another card. So, I mean, keep that stuff in mind. These stack up. Here you can build up your bases even more. Your base is at +1. If you think it's going to be a longer game and you're willing to sacrifice the 6 damage for a turn, might be something worthwhile to look at. You got 3-4 bases out there. They're all +1. That's 3-4 more damage your opponent has to do that turn. And then every turn, they got to spend extra damage to get rid of them. This is the same thing. This is kind of equal to the Walsh effect. Your opponent's bases have -1, but you can't reduce it below 1. Same thing, especially if you're getting into a wall versus wall base. Yes, we're all Starbase Omegas. Stormworld. So this here is currently the only card in the game that can kill a planet. This also does scrap to destroy a base, though, too. But this one can kill a planet. It's uncommon. It's silver, so there is 2 of them in the deck. In this pack. So, but this is the one, obviously if you see this, unless you think you're going for the win very shortly, you probably want to grab this, especially if you have planets to defend. It's also base kill off the road too. That alone is pretty decent. They got a big outpost. I need to go for the kill, whatever the case is, or kill next turn, something, whatever. Something good to park for later. Security Center, here's another one of those. Sacrifice 5 damage early to gain 1 life or 1 authority every turn for the rest of the game. Could stack up, could be worth it. Gas Giant, same thing. If you think it's going to be a longer game, give yourself a little energy shield. Sacrifice 4 damage, reduce damage by 1. And then Osiris. Once per turn, make a card from your discard pile and put it on the bottom of your deck. So this is a way to get that recycling going. Again, keep in mind, if your deck doesn't have any cards, this now becomes the top card on the deck that you just put there. If you have a draw ability. And then we got Ra. So this is the big one. You're going to spend 8 damage, but again, I think that's worth it. You're spending over here, what were you spending? I can't remember how much other one was that does 1. But yeah, here you're going to spend 8, but you're going to gain 2 combat every turn. So especially if it's early in the game, and it's happened to get like a burst amount of damage that I don't think it's going to come up often, probably going to invest into this. Just have that consistent damage added, which is great. Again, situational. And then Anubis. So this is one here. So this is interesting. I love this one here. Once per turn, you may take a card from your hand and set it aside. The card gets added to your next hand of cards. So those hero players may recognize this. There's a mage wizard card that does something similar to this. So this takes, like, if you have something in your hand or end of turn, you have an extra card. I don't need to play this scout. I don't need to play this viper as much as I might need it next turn. You pocket it for next turn, and then it's added to that hand. Exactly. It's phenomenal. So something, this is a hard one to pass up on. And then Hother, this one is, you can look at the top of your deck once a turn. Currently in development build. This is bugged, so both people can see it. Oh, no, he fixed it. I'm sorry, he fixed it already. So yeah, this one's not bad. It's only 4. So this is one. Yep, it's just like Cloak, exactly. And this is not a bad one, especially if you're looking at, you've got draw mechanics and things, and figuring if you want to spend the trade or the ability to draw or not. This lets you peek at the top of your deck. And then Loki. So this is one where you can pocket cards for yourself. So once a turn, if there's no card under it, you can take a card from the trade row, put it under Loki, and now only you can buy that card. No one else can buy that card. You buy it, then next turn, you can do the same thing. You put another card under, or you can hold one. It's kind of like a patience rewarded event. So the one thing to keep in mind is if you have this out and you pocket a card and they bust out the old Stormworld, and oh, hang on, they blow up your Loki. That will scrap the card that you got it tucked under there as well. But it's kind of cool. Exactly, you can pocket a card that only you can buy, and again, you can use it more later. Again, you're giving up 6 combat. I think this is a very unique one. Obviously, there's only one in the deck. Hard pressed to pass one up though. Being able to pocket a card, and you can only pocket 1 card. So that's something to keep in mind. You can't just like keep using this every turn and not buying them and just scrap them from the row. Heimdall, this one does exactly what I just said though. Once per turn, automatic scrap from the row. There's so much good stuff in these sets. I'd be hard pressed to pass this up. To have an automatic free row scrap every turn that I don't have to spend any trade or any combat on after that. Very tempted to, get this every time. Freya, once per turn, may look at the top card of the trade deck. So that could determine if you want to buy something or not. Oh, absolutely. I'm right there with you. So many times, Brett, too, that I've purchased off or got the Patience Rewarded card and then totally forgot it's there. And the game, I'm like, oh, that would have been helpful in my deck, maybe. So I'm right there with you. Yeah, Freya looks awesome. So do I want to make that purchase? Do I want to buy this card? Do I want to event, fish? This is something that you're probably definitely buying. You want this control. You want to be able to see what's coming up. And then you're like, oh, wait, that's garbage up there too. I'll leave the row. Or it's something really good. It's not worth me fishing. I don't want my opponent to get that without having to pay something on it. Whatever. It's great. Once per turn, you may discard a card and draw a card. 7 damage you're giving up. But be able to cycle out a starter every turn for the rest of the game, especially if your deck is starting to get scrapped down, and now you can like cycle into just like a monster hand later. This is pretty good. Well, that's a tough question to answer, Brett, because Magic has a bazillion mechanics. So yes, some of these mechanics are in those games, but they're in other games as well. But yeah, so like this here, if you hear someone say cycling, this is exactly what this is, or looting. I'm sorry, if someone says looting, there's a card called Merfolk Looter in Magic the Gathering. It's an old card, and you can discard a card. You can draw a card and discard a card. That's exactly what this is. Cycling is you're discarding a card to just draw. And cantrips are cards that just draw something with it for free. So if you play like a Corvette's considered a cantrip. It's where you play it, you get a draw. So you'll hear a lot of similar mechanics like that called that. Okay, yep. Cantrips, exactly. It's pretty common. So yeah, that's it. So that is all the Conquest stuff. I'm not going to go over the Rise of Empire here. It's getting a little late. In Universal Storage Box promos, anyone that's in beta currently already has access to this. But again, just this here, being able to see all the cards that are in there just from looking in here. Again, the way they've got them sorted, card type here. So Rise of Empire is going to have the base. It's going to have the Consortium, Kingdom, and Scavenger. And then the thing that Rise of Empire is not going to have is any of the legacy stuff. Yes, Lux, I wish. Well, this isn't even Star Realms 2.0. Star Realms 2.0 to me would be what Hero Realms is now, where you can activate your ally abilities, you can have an undo button, all that stuff. So I don't know if we'll ever see that. Ideally, that would be nice. Also, that game has a legacy type thing built in it with the leveling. So that would be a way to do the Rise of Empire legacy, or if they do other legacy games. We'll see. I know it's a large time and cost expense, and for me, I would rather have new cards than have new features. So I'm stoked with these new features, though. Getting these sorted by card type, again, is huge. Again, for those that came a little bit later, you've got your standalone such, and then you've got, like, here's the ones that are all just ships and bases. Here's the ones that have just dual faction cards. Here's the ones that are like heroes and tech and planets, additional trade deck cards. Here's Rise of Empires specifically. And then here's like your other options, which I agree with how they worded that. This is going to have your command decks. Oh, I'm sorry. We are going to go over the command decks. Yeah, we're definitely going over command decks here. Command decks too. Cosmic Gambits, Crisis Events. So, I don't know if Al is still here. I apologize. I wanted to go over these a little bit earlier. Let me... Here we go. That's how you look at it. So here we have the 5 new commanders that are coming out with Conquest. 4 of these are Legend event winners. This is Dave Logvin, aka Birdlaw. This is a made-up fictitious person. This is Adam Charbonneau, aka Anvroser. This is Hive Lord Labella. As you may remember before, I talked about how he was a trade-fed hero. And now this is where he was seduced by the Blob, got a promotion, and now he's a Blob commander. And then this is Alex Sarkisian, Commandant Sarkisian. Sarkisian? Anyways, it's late. Silent Al in the app. So very, very cool to see this here. Let's go run through these real quick. So the command decks will have, same as before, they'll have a command ship. They'll have a one-time ability. They'll have an every turn ability. They'll have a unique starting deck, which replaces your normal starting deck. All of the cards are in the other command decks except for 1 or 2 for each deck, which will be different. So, and here you have the Patrol Flyer. This is a new ship. So this is a trade-fed ship. It gives you 2 damage, 1 authority. Phenomenal for a starting deck, obviously. And you'll recognize a lot of these already in the other trade-fed commander decks currently out there. We have the trade-fed ship. Their super carrier, I think is what they're called. Convoy Command. It's 8 cost. So what happens is if you play this commander, this gets shuffled into the trade deck. If you buy it and you play it, it does 4 trade, 4 authority, draw 2 cards. So it does a lot. Allies for 4 more authority. And then finally does damage if you scrap it. So obviously you're not getting this really for the damage except for ending game. But you're getting this to cycle through your deck. Big purchases, outlast them with your authority gain. Do all that. So their one-time ability is you have a gambit that you have out, you scrap it, you get 5 authority, you get trade fed ally for the turn, and the next base you acquire this turn goes directly into play. I mean, that's pretty huge. So it gives you that ability to make a purchase, buy a big base, put it directly into play. Good to go. And the every turn ability is the first time you gain authority in each turn, you may put the next ship you acquire on top of your deck. So I was working this yesterday. We had a couple of games where we were doing this, like, okay, so I'm going to wait till I get the ship I want. All right, now I'm going to play my card that gains authority. Now I'm going to put that on top. And now I've got my other card that lets me draw. So you have some shenanigans that you can work with this. Really lets you stack up your deck if you want to. So let's go check out Bishop Admiral Arceus. Again, this is a fictitious person. This is the Machine Cult Commander. We got Security Drone. We've got Machine Cult Ship. 1 damage and allies to scrap from your hand or discard. Obviously great if you've got a all Machine Cult deck already. You already got 1, 2, 3 other cards here that ally with it. Nice. I don't know. That sounds pretty crazy. We'll see. The Oblivion. So I had this yesterday. I was playing the Machine Cult Commander. This card's a beast. This card slices and dices a Julian's fries. It's 8 cost. It does 6 damage. You draw 2 cards, and then you may scrap. So you don't have to either. Let's say you have all good stuff. I don't have to scrap. I can ally to destroy a base, and then you can sacrifice it. You can scrap it to do 4 more damage. I mean, this is a house. You're buying this every time. It's phenomenal. Card draw, scrap, free base kill, more damage. There's not much to not like there. So when it really kicks into gear, though, I'll show you the other cards. This thing becomes a machine, literally. So this is once a game you can scrap it. You gain machine authority, and then scrap 2 cards in your hand or discard. So think about getting that opening grip. You buy something, you've got, a Scout and a Viper in your hand, you don't need them anymore, or you just want to get both of your Vipers, whatever the case is. It's a bonus. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. Feed the machine. Whenever you scrap a card from your hand or discard pile, gain 1 gold and 1 damage. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click off that. So let's say you go turn 1. I draw a Scout and 2 Vipers. Okay, great. I'm going to pop Crunch Time. I'm going to scrap those 2 Vipers. I now have 2 damage and 3 gold. I mean, it is phenomenal. Or you wouldn't have 2 Vipers, I'm sorry, because you're playing a command deck. But two Scouts and a Viper. Let's say you get like a crap hand, like the worst hand possible. So now you've scrapped out 2 cards. You got tons of trade. You got bonus damage to start out. And then later in the game, as you're cycling through and you're scrapping these cards from your hand or discard pile, you're buying cards to scrap. Again, you're literally feeding the machine. This is phenomenal. This is so good. So good. All right, let's get over to Mr. Charbonneau here. He is the Star Empire commander. His new card is StarCraft. Not the game. It's not StarCraft 2.0. It's not the Brood or any of them. It gives you 1 trade, an ally to draw a card. So it's a decent starting card, in your starting deck. You've got multiple cards ally with it though. It also allies for these 2 as well. So it's you got like a machine. You got some drawing. This lets you draw this card. This lets you draw. So you got some abilities built in. Warp Jumper is his super carrier. It's 8 damage. Draw 3 cards. Draw 3 cards. This does not do any damage by itself. I don't care. It says draw 3 cards. Like, what? That's, again, I don't think there's any other card that says draw 3 cards on it. There's some cards that can, Blob World, whatever. Not counting that. This draws 3 cards by itself. Huge. Monstrous. Ally for 4 damage. Doing what it's supposed to do. Scrap it for 4 more damage to get the killing blow. Yeah, draw 3 cards. Obviously, that's going in your deck no matter what. If you can buy it, grab it. It's pretty huge. We got Fleet Jump here. It's a Gambit. Yes, as Brett's pointing out there, if you've got top decking, there's multiple abilities to be able to draw built into this deck, plus some of the other yellow stuff. Really, if you got top decking abilities, and then being able to draw, cycle, things like that. So its Gambit is scrap it, draw 2 cards, and then each you and your opponent discard 2. So you're getting like the advantage here because you're drawing 2. Most likely you got 2 cards you don't care about in your hand. You're going to discard those. Then your opponent's going to be hit with 2 discards as well. Hang on to this for a turn where you can make them discard 3, 4, 5. Why not? Why not? Why not take an extra turn? Make them sit there and watch you play 2 turns in a row. It's something you can do. And Starlane's here. So this here, going exactly what Brett said. Every turn, at the start of your turn, you draw a card and you discard a card. So this is something where you can, every turn, cycle through, pitch something you don't need, get something hopefully better, or if last turn you top deck something or whatever, no, because you would have drawn it, whatever, different things. It's another way to cycle through your deck. It's phenomenal. It's so good. So yeah, Star Empire, very good. All right, Hive Lord Labella. This is John Tough Labella. This is his commander. His new card is Driller. This one got a nerf. This initially apparently did like 3 gold or something. It was just broken. But this is still really good. It's allies for Blob. Gives you Blob ally or whatever. It gives you a gold. But you can scrap 2 cards. Up to 2 cards on the trade roll. So it's got built-in trade roll control. Plus you have this one does trade roll control. Plus this one does trade roll control. So this deck with its cards here can really control the trade row, which is huge. Super Carrier Kraken. No big deal. No big deal. Just does 10 damage and draws a card. Yes, that's a double-digit number. That's 2 digits. That's a 1 and a 0. 10 damage, draw a card. I mean, you're buying that no matter what. Especially for 8. If you have an ally blob, you destroy a base for free. And then you can scrap it for 6 more damage. Absolutely monstrous. This thing is a house. Yeah, so Brett, before you got on, I was really preaching that too in some of the earlier sets, going over a lot of the trade roll. There's a lot of trade roll in these new sets. And it's going to be huge. Yeah, this thing it's going to be monstrous. So, we've got Raiding Party, which is a one-time scrap. Get Blob Ally, scrap the trade row, draw a card. Just wipe the whole row out. And draw a card on top of it. So that's phenomenal. And then Frenzy is whenever gain a combat, whenever you scrap a card from the trade row. So yes, that means if you did this, you scrap 5. You get 5 damage. So this is pretty huge, especially with that built-in card. You know, you've got this. You know, you've got all this trade row. Yeah, Driller at 3 econ I'm glad they fixed that. That was a little huge. But with all this trade row scrapping built in, you're getting damage. And as John would tell you, damage go burr. Blob go burr. It certainly does. So, all right, that is Hive Lord Labella. Commandant Sarkeesian. This is Silent Al's deck. He is the mercenary, colorless, whatever it's actually called. I'm not entirely sure. He's got 2 new cards, I think. I don't think this one is in there before. But you'll notice a lot of these from the other decks. So these are all mercenary ones where they need ally from another color to get their ability. You got a Merc Viper, which is awesome. 1 damage, 1 trade. And we got a Merc Scout. You know, it's your Ruby. It gives you 2 trade. The super carrier is 8 cost, 3 gold, 4 damage, draw 2 cards. I love it. Yeah, events, exactly. I can already see Brett over there. Brett is a very big event-heavy player, loves McCready. I can just imagine the abuse you're going to do with that blob deck. So, Merc Commander here. I love this one. And then also scraps for 4 damage, because why not? So this is obviously a really, really good chip. This one here, of course, this makes sense. The one-time Gambit, scrapper, you get 5 combat. And then you count as having a faction, every faction in play, draw a card. And then also diplomatic immunity. So this is at the start of your turn. You gain, what this symbol means is you get your choice of faction for the turn. So every turn, at the beginning of the turn, you pick a faction, you count as having that faction for the turn. So that's huge, because obviously you've got cards that work with needing certain factions to do their abilities, but also as you're going through and you're buying cards, as we've gone over all the cards tonight, there's so many powerful cards that need to ally once or twice. You know, they need to ally once or twice to get a huge ability. Well, if you're playing this commander, you're guaranteed to get that ally. You know, you're going to draw your hand. Next turn, you're going to look at it, you're like, oh, I've got this card, XYZ card. I need that faction. Yes, at the start of turn, I agree. If it was later in the turn, I think it'd be busted if you could use it whenever you wanted. But yeah, it is very balanced. Beginning of turn, you got to pick your faction. Yeah, exactly. OP, I 100% agree. So that is the commanders. I do want to show you guys one thing here real quick. Let me see if I can. I want to show you another app improvement. Let me. Hang on, let me change them all. Let me take the command deck here. So let me do that. Let me grab him. I want to show you something here that I saw as well. So we're going to pick Silent L, and then we'll just pick base deck, whatever. Yeah, versus AI. So I want to show you something here. This is something I saw yesterday too. So here's where you're going to pick your faction. You can look, all right, so I want Star Empire, because I have 2 cards that give me a bonus off Star Empire. So let's do Star Empire. So this card here, I think it was this one when you played it. So, okay, so the ones that normally give you ally, so it just counts as you getting the ally. It shows it out here. Now, the cards that actually say you count as having a card of that in play, watch this. How cool is that? It is actually representing, I have a blob card in play. I have a machine cult card in play. I have Star Empire card in play. I have a Trade Fed card in play. So there's cards that do count, like if you have a card of this in play, is a big difference. So this is something that's in here now to represent, I have a card of that faction in play. So yeah, we've got this guy here. We'll draw this card. We'll discard this guy. We'll draw this guy. I'm going to get my blob bonus. I'm going to get this guy. I'm going to blow up Junkyard. It's got so much stuff here. Won't work. I don't know. That's a good question for Joel. I don't believe so, because I don't think those factions are in existence at the same time as this. And I think the card actually, I can't remember what exactly it says. Oh, actually, hang on. So if you're like, oh, what's all in this deck or whatever, again, go to menu. You've got you can click on whatever you want. Command decks. I can go see what's all in this deck now. Let's see if it shows it's here. So what's it say? No, that's not it. Oh, that's not me. Hang on, that's my opponent. Oh, it's show me all the command decks. Is it? Oh, that's weird. It's not showing me the right ones. Okay, so that's something interesting. Let's see if this goes through them all. Okay, no, okay, I'll have to let Joel that know. Okay, so this should show what you're playing with. That doesn't show them all. Let's go back here. Let's leave. I just want to see how that's worded. Here's what I want to do. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it says each faction. So, you know what we could do? Again, I don't think it'll work with it, but let's try it. Let's do a... Yeah, let's do this. Let's grab some Rise of Empire. Why not? I don't think it's going to do it, but we'll try it. Oh. There's your answer.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
So I can pick. So it didn't let you pick because it wasn't in the set. So why would it let you? I want a consortium for the turn. Let's see if this does that now. How cool is that? So yes, it does. It does work for all of them. That is really cool that they've got that in there already, ready to go. Good stuff, good stuff. That's phenomenal. Good question. I'm glad you asked that so we could check that on stream. So, all right. That's phenomenal. There's no new event pack. Yeah, so no new events. Again, they do have it here split up. So yeah, it's the base set, and then obviously promos. There's 2 planet packs. There's your hero pack, and then there's multiple packs for some of the promos have multiple things in there, and then you've got your multiple ones that put into play and multiple ones you get the bonus when I go to discard. Things of that nature. So yeah, no more. We got 3 events. 3 event sets. We're good. Don't get me wrong, I love events. I'm always about the events. But yep, none of that. So all right, guys, I think we're probably going to call it on that. I think this has been a blast. I'm glad you guys could join me. Thank you all for stopping out. I hope you found this valuable. I'm super stoked about getting this new content into the game. So I will probably... Next Thursday and Friday, I will be gone. We're taking my son and his friends out of town for his birthday. So I might stream earlier, or I might stream Wednesday night again. We'll see. And potentially maybe do some more either against the AI. I could certainly run through some games that way. Or again, I could grab Joel, see if he's available, and do some games that way too. We'll figure it out. Who knows? Maybe I'll randomly hop on this weekend. Whatever. Just play some AI games. But anyways, very cool. It's cool stuff. Like I said, I'm glad we all got to see that. Brett, thanks for stopping in. I'll pass it on to the little guy. He'll appreciate that. Thank you. And check out the VOD. The VOD will be available as soon as I click off here, basically. I think it's up there right away. So you can check out all the stuff earlier. Again, we kind of go through every single card from the sets. So I did all the new sets. I didn't go over the Rise of Empire stuff because that's actually already out kind of physically. So, but yeah, I think we'll call it on that. So again, thank you guys all for stopping in. Appreciate you hanging out. Hope you enjoyed this. And we will cue the Van Halen. Adios.